reconciliation, we took the full financial year, not regardless of those spillovers of retention that had fallen into this financial year. I want to believe it's our
You
timing.
know, when it's a question on numbers, the best way to respond is to tell us that in row 5, 7, 11, 13, those are the elements that make up the 300,000. But since we are not doing the audit now, I made it very clear that the audit has already been done. We don't want to do an audit now. I want to ask that the Auditor General has assured us, because their job is to provide assurance, that this money, the 18 million point something, for this financial year, it went into the deposit account. At least it has allayed our fear that you could be retaining and redirecting it elsewhere. The governor has made a commitment on provision of a supplementary budget, and so we shall subject this to the 60-day implementation period. We will agree with that approach, but it does not take away the criminality of diversion of deposits and retentions. And so when we are doing our report, we will apply our minds to that, so that those who made the mistakes in the past can also be held to account. Senator Sifuna, please go on record.
Thank you, Chair, Governor, and your team from Embu. My name is Edwin Sifuna, Senator Nairobi. I'm a member of this committee.
Karibu. So we proceed to the next issue, unsupported expenditure on legal services.
Thank you, Chair.
Auditor General, this one you had said it has been dealt with.
It has been addressed.
Just describe globally what the problem was and what the county has done.
Chair, this expenditure was part of the payment vouchers that we had looked at. However, at the time of audit, they are not provided us with the files, the details on the issues of the fee notes, the exact work that had been done by the legal practitioner. However, now they are provided after the certificate was out.
Okay, so we can mark it as resolved.
Yes, Chair.
Country aggregation and industrial park.
Chair, that one has not been addressed.
Then read it out, then we get the governor's response.
Unsupported and delayed completion of County Industrial Aggregation Park. The Embu County Revenue Fund financial statements reflect receipts of Kenya shillings 186 million from the County Industrial Aggregation Park Fund. Audit review of the Embu County Industrial Aggregation Park Fund. Bank statements reflected payments and transfers of Kenya shillings 219,554,655 from the bank account during the year under review. However, tender documents, payment vouchers, project files, bid documents, and the financing agreement of the Embu County Industrial Park, KAIP, were not provided for audit review. Management indicated that the tender documents had been burnt during demonstrations in Embu town. In the circumstances, the accuracy, regularity of the project could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Governor's response.
In line with the audit observation, the Embu County government is at an advanced stage of constructing a county aggregation and industrial park, which I would like to report is at 88% complete. The project is being undertaken jointly with the national government. The agreement document between the national government and county government, payment vouchers, project subject file, and project status report have since been availed for audit review. Regrettably, the tender documents were among the records destroyed in an arson attack on government premises in the month of June, year 2023-2024.
Auditor General.
Chair, the documents are yet to be provided to us.
Which ones? The ones I read?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, let the auditor first give a report. Auditor.
The relevant documents, the project file, the original documents were not provided to us. We suppose that during procurement, not one original document is submitted to the county. There are like 3 copies at least of the original document. So minus the original documents, we could not be able to confirm the status. They have not been provided to us, Chair.
OIG, this 219 million that you have cited, it was paid in which financial year?
This financial year, 2024-2025.
2025.
Yeah, that figure, we got it from the bank statements, Chair.
And yet the fire was in June 2024.
Yes, Chair.
So what is the relationship? Because If you made subsequent payments of 219 million after the fire, then you must have made them on the basis of some documentary evidence. Why is the fire becoming
It is
an
the
excuse?
tender documents that were burnt. But all the other documents, as I've mentioned, the payment vouchers, project subject file, project status reports are there. What
General,
burnt
do you have
was
them?
the tender documents.
You have cited tender documents, payment vouchers, project files, bid documents, financing agreement. So if you deduct tender document from that cocktail, do you have the rest of the documents?
We have the subject files, Chair. But the tender documents, that one and the original vouchers, they're not there. They were banned.
Governor, you see, the reason why we are saying we are not doing an audit today, what you ought to have demonstrated, because the auditor has listed the documents that were not provided. What stops you from saying, honorable members, I provided those documents, they're in Appendix 2?
What stops? Sorry again.
Why didn't you just say that, honorable senators, we provided the invoices, less the tender documents, we have provided them to the Auditor General, and we have attached a copy in our written submissions as Appendix 2. Because how do we now confirm? How do we confirm that you gave them to the Auditor General without visibility of what you shared with the Auditor General?
Chair, can I confirm to ensure those documents are here tomorrow?
No,
because
that will be new evidence, and it can't come after the meeting. Auditor General, can you confirm that you have the documents?
Besides the tender documents.
Yeah, with the exception of the tender
information I have that is that the payment vouchers, project subject file and project status report, and the agreement document between national and county government were provided to the auditor.
OAG?
Thank you, Chair. We have the subject file. We have copies of the payment vouchers. However, the original documents is what we don't have. We may not be able to confirm minus the original document because copies.
Original documents of what?
Of
tender documents. The tender documents.
But those are the ones that burnt, Chair. That's what I'm trying to say.
Governor, let's not harass the auditor. The auditor is prosecuting a case.
Sorry, I can't harass a fellow lady like me.
If it would have been a man, you know you have to be very careful.
I also can't harass a man.
Because if it would have been a man,
I'm harmless. I'm harmless. but
Sifuna was peaceful. Now you have aroused him.
I don't know if that is the correct word. Chair, you're now getting even into more problems.
English is a problem. You have roused him.
You have awakened him.
Senator Sifuna, you wanted to make an intervention.
I just wanted to give the auditor guidance. When you use the word document and we are confused as to which document, you don't have what you have. You just say, we have original copies of the payment vouchers, the project files, bid documents. What original document don't you have? If it is the tender documents, the governor is saying they were banned in, which is, we've been told that people in that region don't do maandamano. It's very surprising that there was maandamano. I don't know what was going on.
Chair,
So that is the guidance I wanted to give her.
Chair,
Okay.
looking at the audit query, the OAG is very specific that management indicated that the tender documents had been banned during demonstrations. What I expected from the governor is an initiative to show that if these tender documents were banned, for example, that they should have provided a report to the police station, probably an OB, the indication of reconstruction of this tender document. Number 3, her due diligence to ensure that the fact that the tender documents had been banned in Embu town, there has been a proof or a demonstration to ensure that that thing is realized. Because, Chair, even when Kitui, Finance Department, I think it was Nyamira County Assembly was banned, the DCI was able to reconstruct the documents until the entire process was completed. In any case, Governor, I thought these tender documents come in triplicate, for example, where the governor retains, or the entity county government, the contractor, and I think there are normally 3. So the issue of availing of the original tender document should not be an issue. So Governor, can you provide with us the indication and demonstration that you tried to reconstruct this issue of tender documents, and whether it was recorded anywhere in any investigations within the police? And finally, Chair, you should also indicate to us, you are one of the counties that is almost completing this KIPES project. So many governors who have appeared before us, some are pro or against, some others indicate that they were rushed to it, others say they have heartedly supported it. What is the economic value to the great people of Embu County? I yield back, Chair. That will be my 2 questions.
Okay, before you respond, Senator Mundigi.
Okay, Chairperson, siungi gavana mkono, lakini mnajua hata Senate. Bwana speaking Chairperson, mimi mwenyewe wakati
you are not supporting her now, or
yes,
global?
I'm not supporting the government, but I want to make a comment about this. About how was happened. Wakati moto iliingia katika maandamano ikachoma ile county office, mimi mwenyewe niandika statement na nikaleta kwa Senate na nikasema security pia team iende ifanye upelelezi, na hapo tutunde hajaenda kuangalia ile nyumba. Kwa hivyo nikusema ukweli, nikiwa senator wa Embu County, ati nyumba ilichomeka na ikachoma document zote. Ofisi ya county ikachomeka wakati wa maandamano. Kwa hiyo nakuwa maandamano, Embu ilikuwa kali sana. Kwa hivyo hata sasa wakati niandika statement, nikasoma nikakuja Senate, nikaleta document, lakini hata Senate yenyewe haikuchukua jukumu ya kwenda kuangalia vile ilifanyika Embu. Kwa hivyo upande mwingine na accuse senators, hata committee yenu kwa sababu haikwenda kuangalia. Ya pili, mambo ya document, mambo ya ngoja
wacha Senator Mundigi amalize, wacha amalize
hiyo industrial park,
kumbushe sisi sio wazima moto.
Industrial park ya Embu County, industrial park ya Embu County, yes, iko around 85 to 90% kuisha. Problem ni document, lakini natoa ushuhuda ati ofisi ilishomeka.
Chair, maybe I can respond to the issues raised.
Yeah, we'll give you the opportunity.
Moja nizamu mwenyekiti,
yes,
ingekuwa vema kama senator wa Embu angetuambia ni kamati gani ilitakana kwenda kufanya uchunguzi, kwa sababu kusema kamati hii haikuenda kuangalia, sisi kamati ya public accounts hatuko na mambo kama hiyo.
Hatuna uwezo wa kuzima moto.
Correct.
Senator Lelekwe, then Senator Dula.
Chair, I think it will be easier for us to construct to get that tender documents from the contractor. I believe the contractor is there. That's why you're reporting that 80 to 90% of the project is almost complete. So we can be able to get that document, yes, from the contractor.
Chair, actually, in our meeting as we were going through this report with the team, I did actually tell them that it is possible to reconstruct that tender document by talking to the contractor, because they must have a copy of the tender document.
Governor, so that dawned on you just this week?
When we went through it, because I had hoped that they had reconstructed, but they hadn't.
Yeah, because,
we had agreed quite a while back.
Because you see the danger, you are paid 219 million in that year without a tender document as a point of reference. So the reconstruction is not something that it should not have been a eureka moment just this week. Because what were the payments based on? If
maybe we want to clarify that the auditor is in investigation is only talking about original document, and original document that was burnt down, but there is a copy document, and that is the document that we are able to process even those payment and also keep records. The contractor also has a copy of what he submitted, the winning contractor. But to get the original document as the auditor is requesting, That is,
Oh, okay.
that's the difference.
I think we get the point. Senator Dulo?
Chair, I think the matter has been clarified. If they have the copies of the document which can be actually verified, is enough. What we wanted the governor to say is that we are reconstructing the tender documents.
Yes.
Number two, we have reported to the police, and this is the OB number.
You know,
so that should be enough. Actually.
Chair, what happened in Embu County in June 2024 is not a small matter. You know, our office was literally burnt inside. From outside, you wouldn't have thought there were ashes in there. And it's only last week on Friday that we've been able to get back to that office. We've had to, you know, renovate, or is it rebuild the inside slowly because of it also caught us at a time when we did not have money. But so we definitely reported the arson immediately to the police, and we listed down all the files that had burnt inside. We had a room where we had stored all these files, and so that's actually what happened. So we did report. We have an OB number. The DCI promised to investigate. We've really never gotten to the bottom of the matter to date.
Yeah, so I think there's a substantive issue around insurance of government property, substantive issues around asset and risk management. We'll deal with them at the tail end. I think that the last point now you should deal with is we are told that you have paid about 438 million out of 500 million on this.
I'll ask the county finance, please confirm.
Yeah, total amount paid, and then that question to reframe what Senator Chirarge asked is that from your perspective, is this a value for money investment?
Yes, it is. And I'm speaking this knowing that, you know, there's the cry of creation of employment. And if you look at our county, our CIDP, there was a general demand by the farmers for value addition of our produce. And particularly this came from the dairy industry, macadamia, avocado, and coffee, where farmers were saying, can you please ensure that within these 5 years we get into some form of value addition so that we are not selling our farm produce in its raw form. And so that's why when the idea came and the national government was willing to partner with county governments, let me admit that I was among the first governors to embrace the idea wholeheartedly, because I saw an opportunity, knowing that this was something that I had, you know, had a conversation with the people of Embu County. So yes, I want to admit that those that embrace the idea quickly are beginning to see some light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a journey. And of course, you know, people were also reluctant about our part contribution, and there were challenges. But those that embraced it, we've moved on. About 11 counties are now headed towards completion. And the beauty with it is that the national government has also decided that they will run with these 11 counties so that at least they make sure we operationalize so that there can be seen to be some real output and real impact with the first 11 counties as the others continue to implement theirs. I know there's some money also that has been provided for the other counties that are not yet received their 250 from national government. So yes, there's value for money, I can say that.
So you are now on what percentage completion?
As we are at 88%. And actually we should have completed, it's just
does that tie with the amounts paid? Because the amounts paid were putting you at almost 93%.
That's why I wanted them to confirm, because to my understanding, I think we have less than that remaining.
Yeah, CEO, maybe just the number.
Yes, I want to confirm that as at in June 2025, we underpaid 416 million.
468.
416.
416.
Yes.
So that puts it at almost 90% in terms of the certification.
True.
So when is the expected completion date as per contract? Because the reason why I'm asking this, for us to frame our recommendation, because we'd also be happy to come and see a successful industrial park. The rest of your colleagues, more than half of them, have got fairly negative vibes about this. We'd be happy to come and see one that is functional, that can act as a test case for the others.
When you visit, you should visit Meru. Meru is at 99% complete, actually. They're actually done. It's now operationalization.
So you are at 90%. By when can we visit and see an industrial park in action?
In action, I'm not able to tell you right away, because what we are at the stage where now we gave out the value chains, and we have developed our value chains and come up with investment plans that we've been developing between ourselves and the national government. Now, the national government is currently planning on how we can get the equipment that we need, where we want to do it ourselves or help small business people to come and do value addition, common user facility. They are willing to help us with the equipment for that.
So Governor, for the 500 million, as per that contract, when is it supposed to be delivered? Before we go into the value chains?
We should be completely done in another 2, maximum 3 months, because what's remaining are really exterior works, and there was a whole issue around waste management that hadn't been properly thought through, and that's what also is holding us a little. But we have been, people who are interested. We have had investor meetings that have been guided through the national government, and we have people very willing to come and start off. In fact, I've signed an MOU with a Chinese company also that wants to come and start off as soon as possible.
So I think, members, this would be a good project to visit.
And Kirinyaga, I think, is even ahead of us in terms of real investors, because I know I think the avocado value chain has somebody already at their industrial park. So, yeah, there are a few success stories. We are not yet fully operational, but I believe by mid this year, a lot of these industrial parks will be at least operational.
Fine. So, yeah. Members, the issue here was the documentation to support the expenditure. I think we have agreed on how that should be dealt with. We will make recommendations for you to fast track completion and for us also to come and visit. So we can move on to the next issue, which is undisclosed account payables. There was an issue here.
Thank you, Chair. Undisclosed account payables, that issue was not addressed. I wish to prosecute. The statement of financial position reflects current liabilities balance totaling Kenya shillings 1,722,877,451. However, the balance excludes our liability in respect to transfers from special purpose account amount of Kenya shillings 10,167,300, which was borrowed from the special purpose account but was not refunded back to the account. Further, the payables have been classified as current liabilities. However, review of the payment plan forwarded to the controller of budget showed that the payables totaling to Kenya shillings 1,429,250,047 were to be settled between the financial years 2026-2027 to 2032-2033, 6 years financial period, which should have been classified as long-term liability. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the current liabilities balance of Kenya shillings 1,722,877,451 could not be confirmed. I submit.
Governor.
The schedules provided to support the figure 1,429,250,047 payable between 2026-27 to 2032-2033, a 6 years financial period, which should have been classified as non-current liabilities. The observation has been considered and shall be implemented in future reports, while the 10,167,300 was not a borrowing but an inter-account transfer, which was appropriately journalized and authorized. And there's a journal entry in Appendix 2A, Roman 2A.
So there are two issues there. Auditor General, could you tell us your assessment of Appendix 2A and that response by the Governor?
Chair, for the second portion on the issue of the non-current liability, that one can be carried, will be considered in the financial year 25-26. However, the 10 million, the way it was accounted for, because it is still in their books. One book is showing a receivable while the other one is showing none. It's up to them to do the reconciliation, Chair.
Now, let's speak in English. You have said 10 million was borrowed from the special purpose account but was not refunded back.
Yes, Chair. And in the account, it's showing as a liability, a debt. But in the executive, it has not been disclosed.
So, what is the essence of Appendix 2A? What are you trying to demonstrate with that journal entry? I mean, it can be a piece of paper that was run in River Road. Can you explain it?
Thank you, Chair. Through the Governor. This was a transfer from one special purpose account to the recurrent account. The figure in our financials that indicated the amount transferred from the CRF, this was erroneously included there.
No, wait a minute. Don't confuse us. In this JV, you are debiting the KIPE account with 10.1 million, isn't it?
Yes.
And crediting your recurrent account with the same amount.
Oh, yes.
Where is the entry where you have credited the KIPE's account with a similar amount to confirm that the amount was refunded? Because this JV just confirms what the Auditor General has said. Where is the entry that brought the money back?
Chairman, what we are clarifying is we are dealing with the end of financial year, and we are saying that as that end of financial year, that that inter borrowing was not refunded, and in our financial
statement, that is what you need to either demonstrate, or you say we agree with the Auditor General, and therefore we make recommendations.
Because it was in term borrowing, to collect that, we will do contra entry.
No, this is not a JV. This is not just a JV. This is cash moving from a special purpose account to which the monies deposited are monies appropriated by the Senate. KIPES is a conditional grant. And part of the conditions is for you to open a special purpose account, just like Flocker. Now, what you guys are doing is that when you run out of cash, you go and raid Flocker, you go and raid KIPES, you go and raid KDSP. And this is a classic example.
And what will happen is, after we close the year...
Isn't that, haven't I described the problem here?
You are right.
Is it legal?
It is in term borrowing. That is part of cash management.
No, it is not cash management. When we are approving money that goes to counties, KIPES is a specific column. And part of the conditions is that we shall open a special purpose account. And that special purpose account, you can't tell us that because you have run out of money for mandazis, let's go and pick from KIPES. We shall return on the day we have money for mandazis. It can't be like that. It can't be argued using accountant speak. Governor, you see the folly here. If this was Flocker, you would have been suspended from the program. They've suspended Nyamira, they've suspended Kajiado, they've suspended Kakamega for this thing that you're casually describing as inter-account borrowing. Senator Adulo.
Chair, I don't know whether I see or listen to the auditor, because he was trying to explain something else. She specifically said reconciliations were not done. Maybe what we need to know from him, have they tried to reconcile those figures? Because she was specific when she said the county has not done reconciliation. But he's trying to explain borrowing from here, borrowing from there, and all that. Can he tell us what he has done as far as reconciliation, as the auditor said, is explained?
Auditor?
Thank you, Chair. This paragraph has two issues. The first, reconciliation on the issue of classifying the liabilities has been done into the non-current and the current liabilities. The second bit, which is the first paragraph here, the county borrowed 10 million from KAIP, which is a special purpose, specific project for utilizing that money. However, at the time of audit, this 10 million had not been refunded back to that special account. The borrowing itself, first of all, it was illegal because they ought to have gotten that money from the COB.
So, can we address ourselves to that, Senator?
I think, Chair, that is where the crux of the matter is. Governor, you have told us that your farmers are waiting for this industrial park. How can it be, the way the chair has put it, that you can read that account to finance Mandazi? That's the words that he has used.
We didn't finance Mandazi. That is quite simplistic.
I was just borrowing the chair's mouth.
Mandazi will pay with our pockets.
You credited the Embu County recurrent account.
Yeah.
And when I was in the world of finance, JVs had narrations. So there's no narration on this. So it is upon us to make any conclusion for that kind of transfer. Proceed, Senator Sifuna.
Yeah, thank you for the protection. You know, she had said she would not harass me, but without you, very safe. So that is the crux of the matter. If your officer there has acknowledged that there was a problem and the auditor has properly classified it as an illegality, then, Governor, you have an explanation to give the people of Embu. How is it possible that money meant to build an industrial park is being used to finance Mandazi?
This money was actually retention money for the KAIP because it stayed within the SPA account. So we did not touch on the money meant to develop the KAIP. And I think it is very, very important that that goes out, because if that was the case, Chair, I would not be number 2 in the county in implementation of KAIP. If indeed we were...
Governor, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
You're a good politician. You are good in building the vision and painting the picture. But accounts, it is the numbers that matter. Movement of cash, it is what you debit and what you credit. So just pause a bit on the big picture. Let's first deal with the details. The auditor has called it an illegality. But the auditor has also said you should have refunded it. So even if you were to close our eyes to the illegality, was there an entry to refund the money?
The finance officer says that there was plan to refund this money this
There was a
quarter.
plan.
It was supposed to be refunded. There was no way they were not going to refund, but they delayed the refunding. But we are going to make sure it happens
immediately. When was the JV raised, transferring the money?
Can you explain? And assure that you are refunding, please.
Officer? Officer, I thought I'm seeing the date here. Why is it taking you long?
This was the date for borrowing.
That was the date for borrowing.
Yes.
Which was?
May.
21st of May.
May, yes.
So when did you intend to refund it?
We were to refund by the close of the year, the same year, June.
Which should have been captured in this financial statement.
Yes, but unfortunately we were not able.
And what did you use this money for, now that you're disputing the Mandazi analogy?
No, we are saying...
So what was the money used for? When you move it to the Embu County recurrent account, what kind of debits do you do there?
Maybe I cannot be able to recall now, but...
No. Broadly speaking, what kind of withdrawals do you make from the recurrent account? Is it operations? Is it development? Is it salaries?
Let me explain. Chair, around the month of June, we had what we were calling a Buddha Buddha Summit, where we were launching the Buddha Buddha Circle. And he came and told me, we have no money. There's no money yet. There's a delayed exchequer, and the summit was here. And this money we had undertaken to give to the circles. So part of that money went to the circles, and therefore should be refunded in this financial year.
Members, between this and the housewarming,
because there was a delay.
Which one is a bigger sin?
Chair, I think this is worse.
This is worse.
The clarification I needed is 21st of May of which year? 2024? Or this year, last year?
2025.
2025?
Yes.
Governor, how many exchequer releases have you received since that time? And you don't seem bothered that you need to refund this money.
Governor, just 1 minute. We appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, you know, I don't like lying, because you see, if the money didn't go to my pocket,
you actually don't have a choice.
Then I have no reason.
Are you not under oath? And you are appearing
yeah, but people lie under oath, Senator Sifuna.
No.
We've seen people mislead this house under oath.
So
I've been here and I've seen us misled even by somebody under oath.
Chair, the only clarification I want to make, Governor should not feel like honesty in the House of Parliament is a favor you're doing at.
No, I'm not doing a favor. I'm doing what I should say.
You're not special. You are under oath and you have an obligation constitutionally to tell the truth.
But that is exactly what I've done. Are you disappointed that I talked the truth?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you cannot claim it.
He looks like he's disappointed that I talked the truth.
You cannot claim it as a badge of honor. You're expected to tell the truth.
Order.
It's an honor to give you the truth,
please, don't
Senator.
claim it as a badge of honor. You are expected to tell the truth. You are under oath.
But I didn't do so. It is you who is saying so.
Governor,
I didn't say so.
Could you address Senator Sifuna through the chair?
Now he's harassing me.
No. I will make that determination. If I feel
he's now harassing me.
You are harassing the chair by talking when the chair is talking. Please listen to me. I started by appreciating your honesty.
Thank you.
Because other people would have claimed that the money went into general budget support. You have made our work easy. That you raided the KIPES account to finance a border function. And that honesty is important. And members, for us, now it is upon us to make our determination and to make our recommendation. Just 2 days ago, we had a similar case where they raided the deposits account to finance a housewarming for the Speaker's residence. So, I mean, it's just same thing, maybe different flavors. I think, members, let us make a determination on this. The ruling that we gave 2 days ago must be the ruling that we give on this, on the illegality, and the fact that such borrowings cannot be accepted, particularly if it's money that came through the hands of the Senate, because we know KIPES and we know the fight that has been there. We know the fight that we have put up so that that money is not withdrawn at the center. So I don't think any protracted argument is going to change the facts. It was an illegality. It was to be refunded. But even that refund would not cure the illegality. That refund was not done. But now we have an idea on what the money did. It was not for Mandazi. It was for borders.
But Chair, that clarity on, because we are aware how many exchequer releases have gone to Embu County since May of 2025. We need an explanation as to why refunding this money to KIPES is not a priority, including Chair, when we were in Mombasa just recently. The Treasury showed us a disbursement schedule, and I believe there was money that was released to Embu County this month. So how is it not a priority to refund something? And it is you've already broken the law. You are not in any hurry to repair the damage that has been done from a legal perspective.
So Governor, perhaps it would be neater, either you or your officers, now that the refund has not been done, to give us some commitment to which we can hold you accountable.
Chair, I'm promising you with the release that we have right now, because there's some release that came, we are going to fully refund the 10 million.
Okay. So then members, as we are doing our report and sending
Chair,
our report to the House, will determine what to do with the illegalities.
Chair, also, we realized that it was an illegality, and I want to promise that going forward, that is not going to happen again in Embu County. It's the first time we did it, I think under immense pressure, but we will never do it again.
I think that's good.
I want to promise that going forward.
No, that's good enough in terms of a submission. We will, when we are writing our report, we will determine what to do with that illegality.
Chair, there is a difference between somebody who breaks the law, not knowing that they are breaking the law, but somebody who knows this is illegal and they go and do it, and then they come and tell us here stories about honesty. Those ones must be subjected to even more severe punishment than the people who do break the law out of ignorance of the law. These are those criminals who know they are breaking the law. These ones, remember.
The power is in our hands.
They say so the law is no excuse.
The power is in our hands, honorable senators, and that is why I said today we are not doing an audit. Today we are establishing the facts so that we can recommend the action that must be taken. Senator Mundigi.
Yeah. Yangu ni kusema unajua saini saa saba ni wakati wa njaa imeingia. Sasa rafiki yangu ako juu, gavana ako juu, mimi naomba dialogue.
Mimi siko juu.
Sawa. Mimi naomba dialogue kwa sababu gavana wamekubali pesa ilitumika na ni makosa imepatikana. Ile kitu muhimu katika ulimwengu ni mambo ya dialogue. Bora gavana apatiwe time aende arudishe pesa before muweke recommendation. Bora tu ni yeye aseme atakaa muda gani kama amerudisha pesa. Hiyo ni kitu kidogo. Yes, makosa ilifanyika.
We have undertaken, we are going to refund that money immediately. It goes through the COB.
Okay. No. We need to close this. I need to provide guidance that Senator Mundigi is, you're a friend of the committee, not a friend of the governor in this current setup. So don't forget that. Asante sana. Can we proceed to the next one?
Maybe just on the appendix 1 on prior year matters is what will happen. Maybe the OAG can guide us. How do we track now that the governor has given a commitment that the 10 million will be returned? Yes. And I'm surprised by the gentleman who said this cash management. You know, unless I need to know what is the qualification of that gentleman. And secondly, can you direct that the OAG maybe in the next 90 days to give us feedback whether this money has been taken back to special purpose account? And finally, to ask Mundigi, this is a constitutional process under Article 229. There is no place for dialogue. Dialogue, we can do it in the village, but here is Article 229. Consideration.
No, okay. I think we need to proceed. We have had enough information on this matter for us to be able to do a recommendation to the House. Let's go to the KEMSA debt and reconciled KEMSA debt. OAG, you had updated that this has now been reconciled.
Yes, Chair.
So let's not spend too much time on it. On voided transactions, there were 862 transactions amounting to 313 million that were voided. OAG, we had asked you to confirm whether the voided transactions related to approvals that had been granted by the controller of budget.
Chair, I wish to confirm that the voided transactions had not been approved by the COB.
Okay, so honorable members, unless there's a residual matter on that, we had gotten the brief earlier, we can proceed to the next. Section on emphasis of matter. We shall take note of budgetary control and performance and go straight to pending accounts payable. Here, I think we'll spend a few minutes because it is a matter of concern. OAG.
Thank you, Chair. Pending accounts payable. Review of the budget revealed that an amount of Kenya shillings 100 million was allocated for the settlement of pending bills against a total outstanding balance of 2,207,376.10 shillings, disclosed in the audited accounts for the year ended 30th June 2024. An analysis of the aging schedule of pending bills revealed that the current year payables balance total to Kenya shillings 1,560,148,304, while the outstanding payables balance for the last financial year was Kenya shillings 1,520. This represents 38,527,228 or 3% increase in the pending bills from the financial year 2023-2024. Further audit review of the payable schedules revealed that as at the end of the third quarter of the financial year, the outstanding balance of the accounts payable was Kenya shillings 1,748,082,570. This indicates that the payables were not settled as first charge on the budget. Failure to settle bills during the year in which they relate distorts the financial statements and adversely affects the budgetary provisions for the subsequent year to which they have to be charged. I submit.
Governor, your response?
The management has endeavored to settle the accounts payable through budgetary provision as well as deliver development to the residents in the year under review. There was, however, an additional bill of 333,718,734.46 attributed to the shortfall in own source revenue. Appendix 3, movement schedule.
Auditor. What's your opinion?
Chair, we have two issues here. We wish to confirm with the COB if at all this the amount that was also they have also captured in their books as outstanding bills for Embu. And number two, they need to give us the current status on how much they have paid.
COB, do you applied your mind to it?
Yes, Chair.
Okay.
I wish to report that the County Executive of Embu, their pending bill is at 30th June of 2025 stood at 1,746,909,550. And this pending bill has been broken down 184,654. So making a total of 1.746B. So this data is based on self-reporting by the entity. Thank you.
Chair, I'm a bit confused. The document that the governor has referred us to at Appendix 3 has totally different figures. The thing I noticed about that document, though, is that it doesn't have a date. Maybe the governor can clarify to us what is the date. There's no date on this Appendix 3. These figures are as of what date? Because the COB is giving us a different story. And secondly, if the governor can explain to us what she makes of the requirement that pending bills be a first charge on the county revenue. What does that mean to her understanding?
Chair, in addition, if the governor can note down from the audit query that is here is that 2.2 billion, but 2.2 billion was the pending bill in the years under review. I've seen the budget revealed that an amount of 100 million had been allocated to pay yearly. So looking at even 1.7 billion that COB has alluded to, it will, if you allocate 100 million per budget, that payment of of 1.5 billion will be paid longer until Senator Mundigi would have gone to retirement. So what strategy is the governor putting in place to ensure, because governor, I agree, this could be the pending bill of the previous governor. But you have to agree with me, there are many businessmen and women who are suffering because of this pending bill. You and me know that. So what strategy have you put in place to ensure, at least realistically, in the next 2 to 3 financial year, God willing, you will be re-elected, and I believe so, you are able to sort out this in 2 to 3 years, that is under the financial year. So this 100 million, don't you think it's too little for the for ensure that this 1.7 billion can be paid as of what the COP are saying? And I know you are businessmen and women of Embu are watching, especially the people you owe this
0.2 billion. And the first thing we did was to form a verification, a pending bills verification committee to help identify which were genuine pending bills and which were not. And out of that, it went down to 1.4 billion because the rest could not be verified. Either there were no documents, or if you went to the ground to look at the actual work done, you'd find nothing has been done, yet somebody wants to be paid. So that has been, I think, a back and forth conversation between us and Council of we know to be the actual position. And I think it's an issue that has been discussed repeatedly in our IBEC meetings over the pending bills issue, saying, can we reconcile these pending bills, because we have also done our own internal audit to confirm what is genuine, what is not. Be that as it may, it's important that I say, in the actual amount of money trying to clear these pending bills, we have paid, I had about 558 million pending bills of staff remittances that had not yet been remitted accordingly. We've been able to clear all that. We had heavy pending bills with KEMSA, and we were able to pay close to 300 million. We went further now to start paying the pending bills by individual contractors, which we still continue to pay, except that it's still a struggle, because at the end of the day, if I say that my development vote is anything between 1.7 to 2 billion on the maximum. So if I'm to focus purely on paying those pending bills, for sure, I'll never do anything in the county in terms of my projects and programs that I had promised my people. So it's usually a very tough balance between paying historical pending bills and still staying true to one's manifesto. And that is why this financial year we reduced it, because we realized we've been spending so much money trying to clear these pending bills in the past 3 years, but we don't seem to be going very far. And yet here we are, an election is around the corner, and I must deliver. So those are the challenges we have, but I want to undertake that we'll try and enhance this amount in the next financial year. I know what balance between making sure our development agenda does not die off, as well as paying these pending bills, Chair.
Just off the top of your head, Governor, first I needed clarity on the Annexure 3. It doesn't have a date.
Yes, let me ask the Chief Officer, please, and your team, if you could clarify the dates.
As he answers, because you have painted a picture there that you need to balance between development and payment of these bills. Most of these pending bills actually arise from projects, which is what people interpret as development. Maybe you'll give us, what is the spread like in Embu in terms of how much, what percentage of your entire revenues are you utilizing on development, and what percentage are you at with recurrent expenditure?
Through the governor, Chair, we comply with the requirement of the 70-30% rule of the PFM. Thank you.
So just give the figure, give the average percentages.
Average percentage.
The last financial year.
The absolute or the percentage?
Percentage.
Percentage.
The percentage, the actual or the budgeted?
My brother, how much, what percentage of the revenues of your county do you use on development in the last financial year?
30%.
So 30% is going to development, 70% to recurrent?
Yes.
The picture might be different, Prof. Looking at your financial statements, 33% goes to compensation. You've got a huge chunk that goes to health facilities. In fact, there's a huge surplus at the bottom, which we must put into context. But from the question of Senator Sifuna, I think he's trying to find out whether employee cost is putting pressure on you.
Certainly.
But it is not.
Certainly, I found it at 50, almost 52%.
At 52.
Yes.
So now it is at 30. Is 33 the correct?
If you say, I mean, you know, it's still there because you can't go sacking people.
No. Let's get the exact percentage, because the numbers here indicate 33, but is that
for what? 33 for
on,
what?
on compensation? Is that the reality?
PE, you mean?
Yes.
When you say compensation?
Yes, compensation of employees. Your financial statements
It
here.
is not that. No. We have a huge wage bill that has been there since I came in.
Now, what is the percentage? Give us that percentage.
52% thereabout is where we are.
But you see, Governor, it must be supported by the numbers you have here in your financial statements. When we are getting our brief from the Auditor General, we reflected on it. Your total revenue is 5.3 billion. Your employee cost is 1.78 billion. That is 33%.
And Chair, in addition
there's
to what
something
you
that's
are...
not right.
Maybe
These are your numbers.
Let me clarify.
Let
Yes?
the Chief Officer.
Yeah, the first thing to clarify is this Appendix 3 is a schedule of movement of payables as per what was queried by the auditor, and this pending bills that belonged to our suppliers. And what we are
that was not the question. As at what point? Those figures are as at what date? You are
as at 30th June 2025.
You are an accounting professional.
Yes,
How can you put out a movement of pending bills without a date?
It is as at 30th June 2025 as per the narration.
So the COB's figures are wrong, or your figures are wrong?
I think what the Senator's frustration is a clerical error on your side. You have this Appendix 3.
I want to clarify the difference between COB.
Wait a minute. You have this Appendix 3 where none of the columns, none of the rows has a year or a date. It's, I hope you have seen what the problem is.
Okay, yeah.
It is an omission on your side.
On date.
And I think you just need to accept and move on instead of trying to over-explain.
Accepted.
Okay, proceed.
The other issue is...
Chair, interestingly, what is the qualification of this gentleman who is here with us, and how long has he been serving in Embu? Because he wants to allow us to be on a wild goose chase in every question. Who is he? Can he just introduce ourselves properly so that we handle him at that level?
Okay.
And give us ISPAC number so that the goodness is we have a representative of ISPAC here. Because every question he asks, this guy should be a very good politician because he dodges every question. He avoids every question.
I hope you're not referring to yourself.
No, I'm not referring to myself. I'm saying he has a tendencies of some politicians which I'm not included.
Now, I think I have a duty to protect the witnesses, but it is not an unfair question for the senator to ask who is this person addressing us. I think we are done introductions. Maybe just reintroduce yourself for that comfort.
I'm a qualified certified public accountant, and we ISPAC number 9050, and I have my FERA satisfied accountant.
No, talk about yourself. leave others out of this.
And
Fine. So you're a member of ISPAC. ISPAC is here. So they will take a decision on whether these clerical errors are indicative of professional negligence. But I think let's proceed. Let's go beyond the gentleman.
So the other clarification, Chair, was those figures between what we have reported as a schedule. Here we were responding to the query of the auditor, and these were the suppliers. That is what was queried, and we also note the COMB report on global figure, which includes other liabilities or other payables like not statutory staff deductions. So that is why the differences were there. We were responding to what was queried.
Are you also able to address the issue of
the percentages?
No. Let COB, you want to respond to that first before you go to percentages?
COB, thank you, Chair. I'm just having a problem with the numbers because if I look at the governor's response on the amount of pending bill they have settled, it is substantially differs from what has been reported to the COB.
I agree with you, Gashanja. The numbers don't tie. Even if you look at Note 32B, Note 32B, which should be the authority in your financial statements on these movements and on the actuals, the numbers don't tie. Isn't it in Note 32B that you have explained trade and other payables? Isn't that where you are supposed to find the pending bills?
Yes, Chair.
And if you look at the numbers there, they don't tie to any of the numbers that the governor has read.
No.
And so at the end of this, we'll put the question, what was your actual pending bills as at the close of that financial year? Because the COB has a different number, you have a different number, the financial statements have a different number, the budget also had a different number.
So, Chair, we will undertake to reconcile those documents. We will undertake to reconcile those documents.
No, there must be a reason why they're not trying. You as an accountant,
no, there was
this financial statement.
The only explanation is timing difference, because you could see there were some processes we made after the year closed. Because of that window that we are usually given by the Treasury. So
and that is why you didn't put a date on this document, so that you can give us that clever explanation. Because we are talking about the close of a financial year, which is a definite date. The same date that the COB is using, the same date that is in the financial statements.
Yeah, Governor, you are just a minute, just so that we agree on the numbers that perhaps you're querying. Assuming that your numbers in Appendix 3 are the numbers that you own. Are these the numbers that you can support, the ones in Appendix 3?
Yes.
Then you have numbers in Note 32B, which were certified. That is 1.7 billion. Your number here is 1.5 billion. So which one do we use?
And I've explained this sendo is for suppliers. The difference is other payables, and I've only stated that there were payables.
The total for suppliers here is 1.527.
Yes.
1.527.
Yes.
Not 1.56.
Yes.
So you still have a gap of 33 million.
Also, Chair,
variance.
See even the confusion, Governor. Look at the title of that document, Appendix 3. You have not made that distinction that this is only for suppliers. You have said summary analysis of pending bills movement, which in my layman's understanding, I'm not an accountant, is a summary of all pending bills.
We have indicated it is suppliers, and we were responding to the auditor's query.
Look at the top there after Embu County Government. Can you read it for us, unless...
It is the title.
What is it saying?
As per the auditor's query.
Read the title.
Summary analysis of pending bills movement for suppliers.
My friend, you are going to cause yourself problems, and you are going to misuse our time. Just 3 minutes ago, you accepted that there is a clerical error here, and you continue arguing as if this is a perfect document. Do we take this as a perfect appendix, or you are owning up that there are some descriptions that were omitted? Because that's Sifuna's frustration.
Okay, some descriptions not correct.
Yes, so you don't be defensive when your own document has a clerical error. Ispak, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, Chairman, I saw the line he was taking that it will open even more queries because the schedule that has been given here, if you compare with that, the financials on page 2, then we are having a figure of 15,521, which is captured here as opening. So if we go further, we'll say now the closing they have given here is as 1560, as at what date? So I see a gap. Maybe we just close on that topic. It has a lot of gaps that maybe the county and the auditors here will have to address.
So is that normal within your profession?
It's not.
Okay, so what is the figure? What figure do we take, what do we report to the House as the total, nowadays they're not called pending bills, nowadays they're called trade and other payables, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
So what figure do we take to the plenary as the closing trade and other payables for Embu County as at 30th June 2025?
1.74, the one that is in the statement, 1.748082,570, the one in financial statement.
What is in the financial statement? Just read that again.
1,748,082,570 as per in the on the tax statement.
Just a minute. That is which one? Which statement is that, CEO? Your statement of financial position has trade and other payables at 1.527 billion. And that excludes the staff payables of 177 million. Isn't that correct? That's what you're trying to explain. So what should be the closing balance? You are not supporting that entry has a closing balance of 1.704 billion. And we are not being petty because a difference of 20 million or 10 million could be pending bills for 20 people. So what is that number? Because it can't be a moving target. This is like election results. It can't be today it's 1.704 and tomorrow it's 1.784. What is a number? And I'm surprised you're deviating. I don't know whether you restated your financial statements because what I have here is 1.704. You have read 1.7 something else.
We can confirm that the auditor has read 1.746.
Auditor, where did you get 1.746 from?
And ours was 1.748.
Where is your, when you say yours, where is it? Which entry, which page is it on the financial statement? Because we are looking at the auditor's report on your financial statements. Auditor, where does your number come from, if it didn't come from here?
Chair, our figure is 1,748,082,570. The 1,446 is for COB.
So your figure, where does it come from?
Financial statements.
Where? Which one? Which entry? Because I'm looking at trade and other payables. It
when
reads,
you go to the financial statement of position, page 2. Numerical 2. We have 3 items there: the trade and other payables and refundable deposits and prepayments. If you add those two, should give you 1,748,082,570.
sorry, which one do you add?
The trade and other payables That is not number 32, 1564, 615, 483, plus refundable deposits
15 what?
1,564, 615, 483.
Then we have different financial statements. We have different numbers.
Chair,
This here is 1.527.
27 and 1.521. So we have to.
Are we looking at the same? Because this is a financial statement that was attached to the report of the Auditor General.
Maybe.
Kindly, we are trying to get into our system, but our VPN is not working, so we are working off.
But our clerk can give you the soft copy. Can you send them?
Okay, fine. Members, I think
Chair, there is a question Governor did not answer about the strategy in place to offset this pending bill.
Yeah, actually, that was the next question. That the auditor was saying you had provision 100 million every year.
Every year.
So it would take you 20 years to hear this.
We can look at that because we were asked to share a plan of clearing of pending bills, which we did some time back. But we can review that in the next budget and see how much more we are able to bring in to pay the pending bills, Chair. But I may not be able to give a certain figure right now. But
the budget was 100 million.
Yes, we had put 100 this financial year, but previously we've been putting larger sums of money, Chair.
Senator
Chair, I just wanted
Senator
our clerks to, if it is possible, to retrieve the motion that was passed by the Senate on pending bills. There was, I think, a requirement and a deadline for payment of pending bills up to 1 billion Kenya shillings.
Up to?
1 billion.
1 billion shillings. There was a deadline that was imposed by the Senate. I hope Kina Malcolm can get it. And secondly, it would have been nice, Chair, I don't know where we can get a breakdown of those pending bills. Because some of these small businesses will be very interested in the conversation that has happened here. That when there is pressure for border events, money will be found, including raiding accounts illegally. But these small pending bills, and I would want to see even the aging analysis for these small businesses. They will be asking, why can't we be given priority as well, just like these functions are being given priority?
Chair, let me report here, and I think it's important.
Just a minute. Let me. I might give you an statement. Governor, relax. 2 days ago, we were here with the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board discussing the accrual basis of reporting. And it emerged that whereas under cash basis, you would have an annexure with all the pending bills, under this reporting format, we don't have that visibility. So Senator Sifuna's concern is something that we had already escalated to the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, that we want to see the details. So I think before the governor becomes defensive, I just wanted to say that it is something that we have flagged with the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board, that the Senate wants to see the detailed schedule of people who are owed money by county governments. So I wanted to make that clarification. Now you can...
Yes, I wanted to say, Chair, that we have been paying pending bills. Actually, we prioritize the small, because it was easier to deal with the small pending bills than the huge ones. And we in fact, in the task force report, the report of the pending bills verification task force, they did propose that we consider, paying by way of age and also the amounts. And so they had said, try and clear these small ones first so that you have less in terms of the long list that was there. And that's what we've been trying to do, to make sure at least we pay as many as we can, and then making sure within our own term we avoid those pending bills altogether. And so we've been very clear in making sure that we pay up what needs to be paid up by and giving it all the priority.
No, Chair, just clarity. I want to just on a closure, because this 1.7 billion, maybe since this standards board we cannot have a view, would it be not also if we get the aging analysis of this pending bill so that it makes our work easier when we are doing the report writing to include recommendation. Finally, I've heard the governor alluding to the verification pending bills committee. Chair, I would want to know, because we have had COB are saying 1.7 billion. I've looked at the financial statements, although the OAG is consulting of 1.5 billion. I would want to know whether in that report, although the governor has not attached here, in that report of the pending bills of 1.7 billion, is there pending bills that were legible or ineligible, or do they agree with what the financial statements have provided? And finally, who are these that were doing verification pending committee? Because we are aware there was a decision in Kitale Court where the power of verification of these pending bills, or now it's called trade and trade and other payables, it was ruled that the Office of the Auditor General is the only one with the powers to do verification of this pending bill. So I don't know whether you have come around with your county attorney, but
we've had this conversation in IBEC so many times that although the Auditor General did come up with a report of pending bills across the counties, many counties had concerns about some of those pending bills, because in our case we visited project by project, one by one. So where there's nothing to pay for, why are you telling me that I should pay if I can't see it on the ground? Those were the issues we've been raising, and maybe this committee might help us really unravel this pending bills discussion, so that we know, do we do a second round where we go on the ground with them and confirm what we saw? Because then why am I paying for something that I have no proof of, or something where there's no document at all to support what it is you're paying for? So that has been a conversation many times, but we have never really gotten to the bottom of it. And perhaps this committee should consider, taking some action along, so that we have some convergence of mind in relation to what really is a pending bill and what can a county pay for.
Governor, technically, this matter was brought to a close this financial year. When you move to accrual, you are to define it. Ideally, you cannot run away from it. Ispak, am I on the right track?
Show of it, because let me give you an example, Chair.
No, just a minute. Let's get because this year we are looking at balance sheet. We have not looked at the balance sheet for the last 10 years. Now your accountants have introduced 1.7 billion points with those small differences in your balance sheet. Technically and legally, it becomes a liability.
Yes, Chairman, it is indeed, and that's why the accountants are given some time so that they can be able to review their financials up to 30th August. So when now it comes to this issuance of certificate, we take it as it is, that they have gone through the verification process and certified that this is the true position.
So technically, the matter is resolved that even if the governor wants to do another verification, she'll be verifying the competence of her accountants.
Basically, that is the position, Chairman.
That is where we are this financial year. In the past, we could talk about these things, but now that you have gone accrual, what you have put in your balance sheet as a liability, you must live with it.
Chair, I understand the dilemma that the governor is in, and we have had these conversations with your colleagues from across the other counties on this verification process. And the advice we've given previously is maybe you pay attention so that.
Could we get your attention so that
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. The other resolution we made as a house is that you do not begin any new projects. Any new projects until you're able to clear your pending bills.
You know that is killing us, honestly.
Just a minute. I am just taking you through the resolution, and we did write to you as a house. I have not seen a letter from you saying you are killing us. I don't know why you are telling me now. Governor, that was the resolution of the Senate, not Sifuna, the House. And we communicated this resolution to you. We have not heard from you, either individually or as a Council of Governors, saying that the resolutions of the Senate are not implementable. You see? That is the sort of relationship we would want with the council, is such that if there is issues like those, you communicate. So I wanted you to confirm. Are you in compliance, first of all, with the resolutions of the Senate as a county government?
Certainly not. I am not, because to tell me that I cannot start any new project until I clear pending bills, and the practicability of it is not possible, because you know, I came in on some promises, on an agenda, and that must be a priority, both to me and the people who voted for me. So to tell me that first pay the pending bills, and if I have a development budget of 1.3 billion, 1.5 billion, then I have to first pay some 2 billion, then is really crippling the work of government. And so that's why I'm saying we need to have very, very candid conversation around this issue. It's not enough to, and while we appreciate that the House, the Senate, you know, will pass resolutions, will pass motions, I think it's good that we have this conversation. And I must say, yes, I admit that I should have written back to say, I don't think this is possible because of 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't do it, and I think now I should. I will actually make sure I do so. But also say, Senator, you asked, have we communicated to these people? What we did after we did the verification, we had a presser, and also we posted that we now have done this. We have some verified pending bills. We are those that are not fully verified because certain documents are missing. Please, if you look at the report, and because we communicated the report also, come and bring the documents. Then, and some people actually brought documents thereafter. So yes, we did communicate, but let me say we didn't do individually to the different contractors.
Now, I've gotten feedback from the OAG about this confusion in numbers. OAG, what is your guidance on the numbers that we should rely on?
We rely on the numbers which are in the financial statements. Although our query was based actually on their own schedules that they had provided to us. We were comparing what was outstanding as at the end of 30th June 2024, which was 2.2 billion. And from their own analysis of the aging analysis provided by the county, the schedule had current payable balances of 1.1 billion 560, 148,304, while the outstanding payables balance as the last financial year was 1 billion 521, 621, 076. These are trade payables. This represented an increase of 38 billion. So we actually provided our report based on the analysis.
You see that the numbers don't relate to what you have here. Did they resubmit their financial statements?
No, the figures that are there are correct. What we reported on was their analysis, the nitty-gritties. Okay. The analysis provided by the county.
Fine. Let's not get lost in the trees. Let's go back and look at the forest, whether it's COB or OAG or the entity, so that we have an exact number, even if it's a variance of 200, 300, but it cannot be a variance of tens of millions. Number two, Governor, I will repeat this. The fact that your accountants have introduced 1.7 billion in your balance sheet, you must go back and confirm that that is the amount that should be there, because once it is there, I don't know how it can move. ISPAC, once you have 1.7 billion as a liability, it can only move if it has been paid. Not verification, payment.
Yeah, payment.
Yeah, so
or
once...
Or write-off.
Or write-off. So once you have assumed 1.7 billion, then the stories of we are still verifying technically does not suffice. So go back, have that conversation with your team so that you can agree that that is a liability you are carrying. Thirdly, compliance with the resolution of the Senate. We are going to make a similar recommendation, and within 60 days, we'll require you to do what Senator Sifuna has asked, to write back to us, to tell us that you have complied, and if you cannot comply, give us reasons why. Fourthly, you must scale up your ambition. And I think you have also agreed that 100 million a year might not resolve this problem. So we leave that to you in your supplementary, your budgeting, your county assembly, because you had said you have your priorities and your programs as a governor. But those priorities and programs must also be consistent with the law that requires spending bills to be a fast charge, that requires staff payables to be settled, that requires retentions and close it away.
Pending bill yote ilipwe, nakumbuka hiyo tulikuwa tunang'ang'ana naye, lakini hiyo ndio uliona sisi county zile 14 wakati tulikuwa nasema mtuongezee pesa. Embu iko na 4 sub counties, sio kama Nairobi iko na sub county 11. Sasa wakati governor aliingia, alikuta pending bill hiyo inasemekana 2.2, alafu unakuta hata wafanyikazi hawakuwa wanalipwa pesa juu ya pesa ya useni, ikawa kuna deni about 500 million. Ile najua hizo alilipa ndio wafanyikazi waweze kutulia kazini. Kwa hivyo ile pesa kulingana mimi najua governor anafaa alipe hizo pending bill, lakini najua atangangana kwa sababu mwaka huu mlifanya vizuri, zile county 10, zile county nyingi kuwa ni moja wawe ile pesa tulipata. Najua kama Embu tumepata around 600 million. Kwa hivyo sio anatetea nearest, ilikuwa nearest. Sio anatetea nearest. Sio anatetea governor, lakini ni kusema budget inakuja. Chairperson, mpaka governor counties zile kidogo iweze kupatiwa pesa nyingi ndio iweze kumaliza pending bill, ndio tuweze kuendelea na mambo ya development. Kwa sababu counties zingine zinaumia. Embu County ilikuwa haina chochote, ilikuwa na shinda nyingi, na ndio naona tuko na changamoto ya shinda kwa hii mambo ya audit.
Mimi naona tusifungue mjadala. Naona tusonge mbele.
You know, Mundigi is reminding us of the things we have done to help these county governors to be able to deal with these issues. In fact, part of the explanation we got from the so-called smaller counties was that they would ensure, in fact the debate was how do we ring fence this additional money so that the people of these small counties can actually benefit, so that we don't end up again, you have added extra money, instead of us paying pending bills, we are hiring new staff and adding to the wage bill. So it is a critical conversation, and this week, Chair, we've been dealing with an issue here which you framed as contempt of parliament. It has reminded me of another conversation you had with the COG on this question of remittances to the council. That even after the Senate passed a resolution to say that those payments were illegal, the COG comes back to the Senate and says, this is something we cannot do. I think this is the second time that the COG is telling us that we sat as a Senate to pass resolutions in our own wisdom. We thought that this is something that is supposed to help and clog the problems at the grassroots, especially with pending bills. We are now hearing the governor is saying she's going to write to us now to tell us that we were not wise to pass things that cannot be implemented on the ground. Perhaps you should...
I don't think those are the words I would have used. I would not say...
Governor, order. Let's have a conversation. I don't want an exchange.
Yeah, let me just finish, Governor. You know, you are now interrupting my thought process. But the point I was making is, Chair, perhaps we need to trade places. You know, some of our colleagues here want to be governors.
Reopen
I will not. I will not. I want to say the following, Chair. First of all, I hold the Senate with high regard because I have been a parliamentarian. And so the last person who would use some demeaning words to such a honorable house would be me. So for me, Senator, I would never write a letter saying how unwise you are. I would probably use a different language to explain myself and my circumstance. But let me say this, and I want to give an example. I found a total of 85 projects, health projects across the county that were at different levels of completion, mostly below 50%. We took up those projects. We have so far completed 32 complete. We have a budget this financial year where we are doing 29 to completion, and we intentionally decided that we'll take up the entire project and make sure we complete it. So we allocated money to complete the 29. And out of the 29, currently 16 are ongoing. And so I would like to say that these are the struggles we've had. And sometimes you even find a particular project was really not necessary for that area because, you know, it's almost like building a dispensary for every village. But we still have decided, since they were done, started, and important for the people, let's complete them and operationalize them. Now, in the process of doing that, we are sorting pending bills, and we are even able to negotiate with the contractors who are in charge of some of those projects and telling them, continue, finish, as we try to look for money to pay whatever it is that is owed. So, and most of them have been completed through those negotiations and discussions. So we are not completely blind to the fact that we need to clear these bills, because some of these are projects that were important for the people. And that's why I've given the example of my health department that was, I think, the worst in terms of these pending bills and stalled projects, some for many, many years, and we are now completing.
I think, Governor, thank you for that. When you come back for the implementation follow-up, you will give us that account, yes. And you'll also tell us which provisions of a resolution are implementable and which provisions cannot be implemented. And you know, that's parliamentary practice.
Yes.
When Parliament makes a resolution, it addresses it to the respective entities, and they have 60 to 90 days to write back. And if you find the resolution is not implementable, you have the duty, you have the space, you are allowed to write back to Parliament. So it's not something we are doing for the first time. That is parliamentary practice on resolutions, and we shall do that when you come back. So, honourable members, let's move. We've spent time on pending bills because it's a very, very huge amount, and it's a matter of great concern. Auditor, keep that in view, and clerks will frame our recommendations to ensure that there's accuracy in reporting. I want us to go to the next issue, which is still outstanding. Irregular extension of revenue collection and management automation system contract. Auditor General, you said some 3 million was paid via LPO number 66 and 76 without a formal recommendation from the Tender Evaluation Committee.
Yes, Chair. Kindly, with your permission, on the pending bills, we disclosed the correct figure. When you look at our report on page 3, we have talked of the current, the liabilities with the correct one as per the financial statements. And what is under the emphasis of matter, Chair, we just wanted to show the committee that the budget that had been allocated of 100 million vis-a-vis what was outstanding in 2023-2024 was not substantive enough to clear any bill. So what we did was just an analysis to show that the county had not done so much in terms of pending bills. Instead of the pending bills, the accounts payable reducing, they increased by 38 million. That is my clarification.
Yeah, I think we have said that in many words.
Okay.
Now let's come to the software license.
And then the software license, Chair, can I read the paragraph the way it is, or
at this rate, we'll leave this place at 6.
Okay.
The key thing here is that they issued these 2 LPOs without formal recommendation from the Tender Evaluation Committee.
Yes, Chair. The contract had expired on 6th of April 2023, so they extended it and paid the service provider 3 million via 2 LPOs, 66 and 76, without any evidence of approval from the committee, Tender Evaluation
Just on
Committee.
that point, because I'm struggling to find a response to that in your written responses, I'm not seeing it. Was there a formal recommendation from the Tender Evaluation Committee to extend this contract?
Through the Governor, Chair, I would like to state as follows.
Don't read the entire thing. I'm trying to be very
Yes, I'll be
very
quick, Chair, with all due respect to the Chair. It is true, first of all, the contract had expired, and at the time when the contract expired, there were issues of transfer handing over the system ownership and operation to the county government because we did not have the servers and the capability to manage it. What is being cited as an extension of contract is actually not really an extension of contract because the contract was for development. What faced with the
Prof, sorry, let me. I don't like to stop professors in their tracks because you're the ones who teach us. I just want us to be specific to the matter.
Yeah.
In your view, there was no need for a recommendation from a Tender Evaluation Committee.
In my view, what we paid for was actually third-party costs that were being paid for us by the service provider. So third-party cost of hosting the system, Safaricom and telecoms, connectivities and all that. So there was really, it's like paying, ordinarily would have been receiving that bill from the Safaricom and from hosting for us to be able to pay just like though we pay Kenya Power.
So in your view, it was not a contract extension?
In my view, it was not a true contract extension.
OAG, in your view?
Chair, the contract had expired, and they continued using the same service provider. Probably maybe we need a documentation from the service provider to prove to this committee that he offered services free of charge. without any payment.
We should lock the two of you. In a room until you agree on what the right interpretation ought to be.
Chair, maybe I can just say something. When we came in, we found that the service provider was Jambo Pay. And at the time, from the national government, there was communication that the national government was coming up with a system for collection of revenue that was going to be used by all counties. I even had a meeting with the ICT State Department on the same, telling them that our contract with the current service provider is coming to an end, and we really need the system up and running quickly because we also collect money at all. And for like a day or two, we were in a crisis. And so hard decisions had to be made. We sat down, we told them, first of all, we had challenges because they had also not implemented the project as per the contracts. So we were clear in our minds, we cannot continue to have them as our service providers. So we used that to tell them, you know, you people did not do 1, 2, 3, 4 in the team in the county so that we were able to take over the system. They didn't do it. So it's on that basis we agreed, okay, since they said we can reopen as you try and figure what to do, but we have payments, we have the third-party payments that must be made. So it's on that basis we agreed to pay money on the table, and we went around checking, and then finally we went through a tendering process. So we now have our own system, and we ensured that this time we entered into a contract that was not only binding, but one that took into consideration all the things we found that were gaps in the other system, because we did an audit of the previous system, and the auditor raised very many issues that he found to have been things that he found wanting in the previous system and previous contract. So we now have a new system, Chair, it has really helped us to streamline. We have rolled out all the revenue streams. At some points, we couldn't roll out all the revenue streams at once, so you'd find Jambo Pay was locked on certain revenue streams, but others continued until we were in that space where we felt it's now safe to finally shut it down and move on with our new system. So that is our story that we've gone through with the system, because it was a system that was even being abused. They could lock from a certain place. People tried to pay because we had gone completely cashless. They find it's not possible, and we also had to do a lot of restructuring, ensuring our revenue authority was properly staffed, the structures were right. We put in place a new board, and that has helped us. Our revenue has started going up in a very encouraging way, and we hope to do even better this financial year.
We'll come to it. We'll come to it. We have looked at your revenue streams and the growth of your own source revenue. We'll come to it, yes, so that we can tie what you have explained to even performance of revenue. But what is the requirement of Section 139(1)(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act? That is the matter in question. Was this 3 million subject to Section 139(1)(2) of the Act? The Auditor General says yes. Professor says no. The Governor has given us a good story around it. So, OAG, National Treasury, they've stepped out, perhaps to avoid a protracted argument on this, because this is It's a matter of interpretation of the provisions of that act. Oeji, do you think you need to review the documents and all those circumstances for you to take a view, or you are of the firm view that this 3 million was subjected to the contractual obligations when a procurement process is completed?
Thank you, Chair. Even from the system, the IFMI system you've just opened, it was on the contractual obligations, whereby we needed a tender evaluation report.
Fine. So you insist that section 139.1.2 ought to have been applied?
Yes, Chair.
The county did not apply section 139.1.2. It is upon us as a committee to make a recommendation, because I believe then the offences have been defined in the Act.
Yes, Chair.
Failure to comply with this is an offence, and I'm sure there's a manner in which it has been framed in the Act. As to the last paragraph on the procurement of the new system, we can deal with it when we come to the receiver of revenue report.
Noted, Chair.
So please, and again, maybe just to give guidance, on the last limb, keep that in view, because I am sure that implementation is not complete.
Chair.
Weaknesses in management of county vocational training centers. Your conclusion is that optimization of the benefits from VTCs to the public cannot be confirmed.
Yes, Chair.
So is this a question of effectiveness or a question of lawfulness?
It's both effectiveness, lawfulness, and effectiveness use of public resources, and equally internal controls, Chair, because there are three. One of them is accreditation, where you find that some of the courses that are being offered have not been accredited by TVETA, NEC, or CDAC. And also we have the issue of irregular hiring, and also the competence gaps. So it's both lawfulness in use of public resources and internal controls. That's a governance issue, Chair.
So I can see the management comments. There are about 3 paragraphs to it. Honourable members, I want to propose that we will go through those management responses and see whether they satisfy the issues that have been raised by the Auditor General, failure to which we shall make recommendations, binding recommendations. Unless there's any other observation on that, we go to failure to establish sub-county level 4 hospital. Again, Auditor General, you indicated that Manyata sub-county did not have a level 4 hospital.
Yes, Chair, it doesn't have a level 4 hospital.
Is it a question of lawfulness or effectiveness?
It is lawfulness, Chair.
What is the basis in law?
Their own county, Embu County Health Service Act 2024, Chair, stipulates that there's in each and every sub-county they're supposed to have a level 4 hospital.
Okay, Governor, what is your communication to the people of Manyata sub-county?
Yes, I would like to state the following. Number one, when we came in, we found that there was a new...
Governor, I'm sorry. Sorry, Governor. You have a very brief management response. Why don't you read it first?
Okay.
Yep.
In line with the audit observation, the county management has 3 sub-county level 4 hospitals, and none has been established in Manyata sub-county. The government is, however, at an advanced stage of upgrading 4 more health centers in sub-county hospitals, one of which is in Manyata sub-county. The Embu level 5 hospital is also domiciled in Manyata sub-county, which has all along served the residents in all healthcare matters. So what we did after we came in, we looked at the gaps that were there in terms of level 4 hospital, and we decided to upgrade two of our level 3 health centers into level 4 hospitals, one of which is in Manyata, and we've been doing some infrastructure upgrade so that we are able to ensure that it has all the necessary facilities for it to be accredited as a fully fledged level 4 hospital. Then we got a new sub-county that was set up towards the end of the last term, around 2022, and it is in an area that is very needy in terms of health support. They had no level 4 hospital at all, and they also were very far away from the level 5 hospital. So that's how we decided to put up a level 5 hospital in Gategi Health Center, which I think there's a matter just below it on the same. And so we are in the process of building that level 4 hospital. It's at advanced stage. We are just about to complete the maternal and child health, and then we can do a bit of upgrade on the wards and the other facilities. We already have an OPD that is fully operational. We started with that. Now we are doing the maternity side and the inpatient side.
Members, I think the lawfulness bit the auditor is citing is that there's an act of the county assembly.
Yes.
That makes an obligation to provide certain services.
Yes.
Makes an obligation to establish a county health management team, health quality and assurance unit, health facility improvement board, etc., etc.
Yes.
I think this is an observation that we might want to action to the county assembly, because it is their law that is being breached. And they are also the ones who provide budgets. Even if you are to do all those things, the budgets will come from the county assembly. So, honorable members, since it is a law of the county assembly that is breached, this could be one of those recommendations we are asking the county assembly to provide oversight and to demand an implementation status on the act that they passed. I think it would be impractical for us to direct you to go and build a level 4 hospital in Manyata, and yet this is a law that came from the county assembly, and they are the ones who would provide a budget. If they had provided a budget for it, and then it was taken to build the governor's house, that would be the concern of the Senate.
Yes.
So can we leave this for the county assembly to pursue as part of their primary oversight mandate?
It's important, Chair, once again I state that we are actually in the process of upgrading one level 3 hospital into a level 4 in Manyata.
Yeah, that's
and
okay.
We have started works already.
That's okay, because it is a county assembly law. They should hold you to account to it.
Yes.
And if you fail to do what the county assembly has recommended, then it should escalate to the Senate.
Sure.
Senator Sifun?
You know, I feel for that county assembly, because they might also receive a letter on that law, but that is besides the point. I am a bit worried, Governor, when we have this conversation about you upgrading other facilities, and I know we'll get into it, Chair. I've seen a total of around 11 stalled projects, and I can count 8 of them are health facilities. What assurance can you give the people of Manyata that you will ever get their hospital to level 4 if these other ones...
But it's already work in progress. It's not like I'm saying I will. We are already doing it.
Governor, please, let's...
It's called Kairore Health Center.
Governor,
yes.
Let's talk to each other. That way...
You know, you asked me a question, so I was answering.
I had not finished. All questions are processed through the chair.
Okay, Chair.
And I'd indicated that this meeting will be as fast as we are brief, and as long as we have a boss. Senator, I'm not pulling the rug under your feet.
You know, Chair, it is impossible for you to answer a question before it has been put. And the governor has reminded us that she was a member of parliament. Please just let her wait for the question mark. She will know
I am controlling.
Yeah, she will know when I've finished my question. So the question was, what assurance can you give the people of Manyata that the things you're telling us here will actually happen in light of the conversation we're going to get into? You have 11 stalled projects, 8 of them I can count either dispensaries or other health facilities and morgues.
Chair, you know, he's talking about 11. I have completed 32. I am in the process of finishing 29 this financial year. So the 11 is what will remain to be done in the next financial year. But out of 85 health facilities, Senator, that I found incomplete, this is how I have done it so far, and I have the report here.
So let me.
I am willing to do that. And one of them,
Governor, sorry, a suggestion that will help all of us. Why don't we focus on the specific ones in this report, so that we are not discussing a hypothetical situation? And I want to plead with Senator Sifuna that let her not address the global, let the governor address the specifics. It might allow us to make better use of time. Because the next query is stalled construction of Gategi Health Center and idle health facilities buildings. So if you agree, we can have this conversation,
yes,
but by referring to the audit query before us. Fine. So on the level 4, we are challenging the county assembly to do some work on that. On Gategi Health Center, what is the
Chair?
Auditor General, what was your concern so that the governor can?
Chair, this particular health center had stalled. However, some documentation has been provided to us to show some amount which has been allocated aside for its completion.
Sorry, it should have been completed on 12th of June, 2025.
Yes, Chair.
Chair, let me respond to that. Actually, it had not stalled because of lack of finances. It had stalled because there was a concern about the kind of design that had been put up that did not take into consideration other user facilities that were critical. And so I said, stop this construction, relook at the design, come up with a design that is holistic, because we are building a level 4 hospital, and I wasn't comfortable with what was on the table. But I'm happy to report here now that we are actually at very advanced stage in completion of this facility. It's moving. I was there in December, just before Christmas. I saw it with my own eyes, and it is one of those projects that we are keen on making sure that we operationalize by the end of this financial year, if not early the next financial year.
And I'll keep stopping you when I feel you have answered the question and you're going overboard.
Yes.
2 things. What is the percentage of completion? And if it is not 100%, what is the completion date for this facility?
And Chair, maybe she can take both questions. You know, it is extremely worrying from my perspective. I just would want to understand the process of project conceptualization in Embu. That we are being told this is something that was awarded on 12th June 2024. This was a project you conceived as an administration. You did not inherit from your previous.
Yes,
we are being told, Governor, you spent 23 million already in this facility. You are the ones who conceived and designed it. Then at some point after 23 million, you say you are not happy with it.
No.
Take us through the process of conceptualizing projects in your county.
Let me explain. Maybe I wasn't clearly understood. When I came into office, I realized that we do the planning, the budget planning was compartmentalized. So you find somebody saying, if you give us 25 million, we'll complete this project. Then they go and budget against the 25 million. And so anytime I ask, so when will we complete and when can we say we are able to operationalize a particular facility, they start to say we'll need to go back and look at what more works is remaining. So I said we can't plan this way. This is not the way we budget. We must have an end-to-end planning and then budget against that end-to-end plan so that we know if this financial year, if you're doing a multi-year budgeting, you know that if we give 23 million, we'll achieve this percentage of completion. If we give another, and to complete fully, we'll need 60 million, for example. So we'll need 23, the next financial year we'll do another whatever amount. So I had a problem with the way the department had been doing things in the past, and that is why we found 85 projects that had mushroomed everywhere, but they were not complete because they were giving 1 million, 2 million. It's a dispensary. You have budgeted 2 million for a dispensary. Clearly, you can't. And then we also agreed we must have a prototype dispensary. So when we say we are building a dispensary, it's in our minds. We already know this is the amount likely to be spent to finish a dispensary. In our case, our prototype dispensary to completion before equipping is coming to about 12 million. And we were happy with the design and we approved it. So this has been work in progress, and we had system failures that we needed to sort out and also change the mindset and the thinking of the planner so that they can be planning end to end. And so part of the reason I stopped Gategi was, number one, I wasn't comfortable with what it is they were saying they would achieve with the first 23 million. So I said, even before you finish that first phase, can I see exactly what it is you're going to do with this money? Can I also see what the entire project is going to cost? So we went back on the drawing board. And it was just a few months and we were back again. And as I said, and I welcome you, please come and see. It's a beautiful project that Governor, is nearing completion.
The answer that we are still looking for is, as per the contract, when do you expect to complete it? As things stand now, what percentage of it is done?
We actually at over 60%, because in December when I went there...
So if 23 million is 60%,
and we put more money in this financial budget,
therefore means that it will come to 40-something million.
It's likely to go to about that amount, but can you allow me to give you the exact figures so that I don't mislead this committee and the exact percentage, because I was there in December and they were moving pretty fast.
Because in
so
my
that
view,
I give an up-to-date
in my view,
report.
if I was the professor sitting next to you, that would be the answer I would be looking for. Not the background. I would be looking, fine, tell me why you suspended, but thereafter, we are at this percentage, this is our expected completion date, this is our expected expenditure. We have the money in the budget, and I assure the people of Gategi that we are completing this by 10th of March or whatever date. That's as simple as that. Unless members, you're looking for anything different from that.
I will give that information if you'll allow me. I'm sure it is readily available with the
if you had presented
our project manager, unfortunately.
Governor, if you would have presented it as your written responses, we would have moved on to the next issue. So yes, that's just for you to improve in terms of providing factual responses to the issues raised by the Auditor General. It will allow us to take a shorter time. And not
3 million is not pocket change. It's very serious money. You cannot approach a construction project in the manner in which the governor is explaining. That people come to you and tell you, if you have 23 million, we will do this thing. I thought people come like I have built a Simba at home. They come and tell you, this is the design of the project. You will need X number of bags of cement. You will need X number of mabate. From the quantity surveyors, they will tell you everything that is required. But in Embu, you are telling us, it's like when I go to the butchery there, and they ask me, unataka nyama ya ngapi? I say, niko na 20, wanakukatia.
Senator, maybe you didn't, maybe I didn't explain myself in the manner for you to understand. I said...
Governor,
yes.
We had agreed as a committee that this meeting was going to run up to 2. But it is taking longer because you are over-elaborating. With due respect. And I mean, there's nothing wrong in providing more information. Let's be more specific and direct. Senator Sifuna, maybe, is there a specific question you're asking or you are making an observation? Let's distinguish between an observation and a question.
Actually, I'm just confused at how the county of Embu approaches construction projects.
So that's more of an observation.
Yes.
So that it does not warrant a detailed response from the governor.
Chair,
if she can clear my confusion, I think we can make progress.
Okay.
This project was very dear to me. Okay? Very, very dear to me. I said, go and do a design. We are going to start with a maternal and healthcare unit. That is maternity with everything that is required in a maternity unit. And then I was told that it will cost some money. And I said, I want to see the design, I want to see the BQs. And then in the process, one of the technical people said, you have left out an important aspect of this hospital, which is, they stated whatever it is they thought was missing. So I said, stop, don't move until that has been cleared. Then we move. But I also told them, don't come and tell me, for this phase, give us 23 million. First, tell me, this is how much the entire project will cost, and then let us phase it out and do multi-year funding. What is wrong with that?
Governor, are you as a governor involved in design, BQs and procurement?
No, I'm not, but I have to know what it is I'm financing.
That is a narration and impression you are giving us. And that's why I'm saying, let's focus on the audit queries, because the elaboration is going to invite a lot of problems.
Chair, you know, we were with you in Turkana. These are critical matters, and you know, when the public accuse us of not doing our best to make sure public resources are properly utilized, I can understand your impatience because of the time, but on this one, please just allow us to do this. We went with you to Turkana, and we were shown a construction project where they told us they had pumped 30 million Kenya shillings into. Chair, just from a cursive, just from you just visually seeing that structure, you can tell that that is not 30 million. You can tell. So even this one, and Chair, I want you to see it.
Which one?
This is 23 million at...
and I see.
You told us you know it.
No, but I want to see how it looked at the time they took a picture.
Governor, I am chairing this meeting. Allow me to chair the meeting. Let Senator Sifuna ask a question. You will respond.
This laptop belongs to the OAG. It's not Sifuna's laptop. They have told me that this is Gategi Health Center, this one, where 23 million has been put in.
And I see.
You know it.
No, let me see the picture.
Oh, the only person who needs
maybe
to
the
see.
building is different from the one I know.
Clerk.
Is there anything wrong with me looking at the picture?
Oh, I'm the one giving directions. Clerk, you can share that picture with the governor.
Can I see?
Well, the governor has demanded to see, so I have no problem sharing that.
Let me see.
Just scroll up and down. That is the substructure.
But the,
I think hold your horses until you see it, so that
you
you are responding to what you have seen.
Where is our...
Okay, you may share this with the governor.
Manager.
Just a minute, Governor. Is that the project?
Yes, but this is...
Okay, fine. If that... No. Let me ask the questions. Auditor General, on what date were those photos taken?
In December 2025, Chair.
In December 2025. Since December 2025, Governor, has there been significant progress on the project?
You know, I would like we go with them, because when I went in December, around the 20th of December, I personally went on a project inspection. The project was on second floor. It was roofed. We went round the whole place. The residents themselves were there. They were doing cabro outside. They were now waiting, remaining tiling and windows.
Governor, our concern is value for money. In fact, if you were to tell us that when you went there, the project was complete, I would be very happy and I would have a problem with the Auditor General. But from your description, even when you went there, it was still work in progress. And that is why we have asked you a very mathematical question. Percentage completed, expected completion date. You are not giving us, you are telling us stories. Why don't you just give us your expected completion date, the percentage completed, percentage or amount of money that has been spent on this, so that we stop the rhetoric?
Yeah, and Chair, of greater
project
concern.
is at 76% complete. Expected completion time is 30th April 2026.
That is
and I welcome this committee to come.
Fine. So you have laid the facts. That's okay.
Chair,
Senator Sifuna?
That's a different set of facts, because you did ask that question before. She told us it was at 60%. When we were looking at...
as at December when I went
please be
there.
protected, Chair?
Governor,
my point.
Please, let's be orderly.
Chair, you put a question to the governor on the total cost at completion. You were saying if we have spent 23 million already.
And 60%?
Yes, and she said 60%. Now she has adjusted it to 70 what? %. These are different set of
Chair,
facts.
I was there in December. I have seen as at December.
Governor, please, you will cause us to be here up to 8, and I don't want us to be here up to 8.
Chair, can I please
Not every statement must be responded to. Not in my committee.
This statement.
So, Senator Sifuna, are you done with your submission?
No, I am being interrupted.
No. Senator Sifuna, you need to be done so that we give the way forward.
This also, Chairman, if I don't respond,
yes, I will
mislead.
If there is need to respond,
when I was there in December,
order, Governor.
The project was at 60%.
Governor, order.
Today it's at 76. Chair.
Order, Governor. Order. We had a conversation before we started this meeting on how we want to conduct this meeting. The emotions coming here are completely unnecessary, because no one is accusing you of stealing money. No one is accusing you of breaking any law. I don't want ego tussles here. If someone accused you of stealing money, you have a right to defend yourselves. So let's differentiate matters. Senator Sifuna, just conclude so that we...
In fact, there is no accusation that I have made. This photograph has been shown to me by the Auditor General. You know, Chair, I have never been to this place. And at the beginning of these conversations, we say in this committee that the Auditor General is our eyes and ears on the ground. They are saying that was as of December. In fact, my concern was, does that represent, that stage of work, does that represent 23 million Kenya shillings? And the Governor, I know you are a public figure. Everywhere you go, you have a press team. All you needed to say is, I was there in December, these are my photos. And then we conclude.
I didn't have the photos.
So honorable members and Governor, order, Senator Mundigi. The Governor has submitted that this project is expected to be completed on 30th of April 2026. The Governor has further submitted that the project is 76% complete. We sitting in Nairobi have no way of establishing that. We ask the Auditor General to keep this in view and give us a more detailed report at the implementation meeting. Senator Mundigi, stop doing that. You cannot direct the Governor.
Allow me
the last time that happened.
share the pictures of December when I visited.
Senator Mundigi, order. Order, Senator Mundigi.
That we only believe OAG. It is the only body mandated.
I think everyone is becoming disorderly now. Governor.
Yeah. I want to share the pictures
Governor,
of the Tegi project as at 9th December when I went there. So you can see. Yeah? I've gone to my page.
Governor, please take your seat. Please take your seat, Governor. Please take your seat. We have told the Auditor General to keep this matter in view. We are not making any conclusive recommendation until the Auditor General comes back to us at the next implementation meeting. Let's proceed to idle health facilities buildings. Now on this, because they're related, these are also related because there's an issue of value for money, that the buildings are not being put into any form of use. To avoid an exchange here where everyone is presenting their own version of pictures in a world of Grok and a world of ChatGPT and AI, the idle health facility buildings for Kiangungi, Kang'ethia, Gishera, and Gisheshe dispensary. Auditor General, is this a matter that you can keep in view, or is there a criminality in your finding? If there's a criminality, we deal with it. If it's value for money, we keep it in view.
Thank you, Chair. There's no criminality here. It's just value for money. We can keep it in view.
Keep that in view.
Also.
Stalled workshop at Chicago VTC. Is there criminality
May
here?
I report something about the said dispensaries? The ones mentioned here, kindly.
No, what we'll do, Governor, we'll take your written responses. I hope that what you wanted to say has been captured in your written responses.
Yes, we actually now
if they are there,
and opening.
Yes, if they are there,
money for equipping.
We'll refer to your written responses.
Thank you.
The VTC at Chicago.
We also keep in view, give the status.
We keep that in view, but we refer to the governor's written response.
Thank you, Chair.
Karaba and Kamweli dispensaries. Again, is there criminality there? Or
no criminality, Chair.
It's just value for money?
Yes, Chair.
We keep it in view?
Yes, Chair.
Stall project, governor's official residence.
No criminality, just lower value for money. We'll give also the status, implementation status.
I think this matter came before us in the last audit report.
Yes, Chair.
Just what are the issues, and then we can hear from the governor.
Equally, the project has stalled. The contract price was 49 million. Approximately 29 million has been paid, and there's no contract on site.
How many million has been paid?
29.
Against 49?
Yes, Chair.
With 55% complete. Is that the position?
Auditor?
Yes, Chair.
I think to avoid misunderstanding, if you're going to address this, just read your finding so that no one is accused of having the wrong percentages.
Thank you, Chair. Stalled project governor's official residence. As previously reported, the county executive entered into a contract for construction of governor's residence with a firm at a contract sum of Kenya shillings 49,703,439 on 8th March 2021. The contract period was to run for 72 weeks with expected completion date of 8th September 2022. The county executive was required to allocate funds and prioritize construction of houses for the governor and the deputy governor on public land in accordance with the specifications therein before the stated deadline. However, at the time of audit in September 2025, the governor's official residence was not complete, and the last certificate of work done revealed that the project was 55% complete. The project appeared to be stalled since the contractor was not on site. The building is deteriorating and the wood used has started to rot. Requests for an engineer's opinion on the status of the building were not provided for audit review. No evidence was provided for review to confirm whether the contractor had sought for extension of contract period or default notice issued to the contractor by the county executive. In the circumstances, management was in breach of the SRC circular of 20th May 2019, and the public may not have obtained value for money from the stalled project. I submit.
Governor, I want to recommend that you read your written response.
In view of the auditor's observation, the governor's official residence was not complete. The contractor acted in breach and the contract was terminated. The management is planning on budgetary allocation towards funds for completing the facility and bringing it to use. I have a letter for termination of contract. I visited that particular site, Chair, and I want to say I don't even think it was 55% because the amount of work that had been done and the amount of money that had been paid out did not add up.
You feel there was some criminality in
we had a problem with
that?
the contractor because let's just say there was no value for money.
Would we be wrong to recommend investigations into this? Because if you have
Certainly, certainly you can investigate because I feel that that project was not properly implemented.
Honourable members, is there anything more to add beyond investigations?
You have said 29 million has been paid against 49 million. Governor, after this termination of contract, did the contractor accept, or he or she has moved to court to challenge the termination? What is the position? Because in as much as you recommend for prosecution and we don't have the contract document here, whether the contractor has agreed to vacate the site and agreed to termination, or he has challenged
The chief officer can comment on
Okay.
that.
Chair, perhaps this is one of the reasons why we as a Senate, in our wisdom or lack thereof, advised that we do not begin new projects before we complete such existing projects. Because you can see, already they're saying over 29 million shillings has already been paid, and they're telling us the building is just rotting there. That is money that could have gone to help the people of Embu. So this is some of the reasons why we were saying, don't start new ones, just let's complete these ones first to get that value for money.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one thing to terminate a contract, but it's also, there's also a duty that if money was paid for no value, that people must be held to account. If there's an officer wanted to explain something?
Yes, the chief officer.
Yeah, make it very brief.
He was responding to Senator Cheregai's.
Yes, I want to confirm that the contract was terminated, and after due process of rule, and the contractor did not come back, did not respond, he just went away. So by action of the rule, I think he has no case to come back. Only the payment that was made.
The question was, are you aware whether they have challenged in a court of law the issue of coming back
No.
or not?
No.
There is no
So
chance.
the time has lapsed?
Yes.
Okay. So you can now re-advertise for a new contractor?
Yes.
Okay.
OIG, are we still disclosing contingent liabilities under accrual?
The management is supposed to be disclosing, however, it was not disclosed, Chair.
Yeah, because I see it's all blank, even though this would not be a contingent liability, because there is no evidence that anything has been filed.
True, Chair.
Okay, honorable members, we on that particular matter, we'll be recommending that EACC looks at the 55%, but also encouraging the assembly to provide budgets if this is part of the county's priorities. But if the governor has a nice house where she's staying, then she can continue staying at home. I mean, it's just an issue of priorities. I believe between putting up a palatial,
that was my challenge.
Palatial residence and
Chair,
the level 4.
I have 85 health facilities waiting to be completed. I am in a home right now. I'm not sleeping out. In terms of priority, I think that may be why the residents are suffered, because to me, it didn't look like it was a priority, truly. But I undertake that in this coming financial year, I'll go out of my way to put some money to complete the building after it's been re-evaluated, or is it
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair, can you clear something for me? I thought the money that is specifically for construction of residences is ring-fenced.
No, it's not.
No, what we did was to provide a conditional grant to a few counties for county headquarters.
Yes.
But for the governor's residence, we put a cap, and that cap was subject to the budgetary, the appropriation of the county assembly. The criminality would be if the governor is still drawing an allowance.
No, I'm not.
So if the governor is not drawing an allowance, and
that was made very clear
and
to me.
she's not complaining, she can sleep in an Airbnb, then really it's not for us to insist. But there'll be another governor, Mundigi, who might not be comfortable in sleeping in Airbnbs.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'll go out of my way. I'll now give it some priority.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine, so let's keep that in view, but the 55% needs to be investigated. Failure to establish and gazette the Alcoholic Drinks Board, has this been resolved?
No, Chair.
What's the problem, Governor? I mean,
Where is it?
how are you doing your liquor licenses?
The department acknowledges the audit observation regarding the absence of a formally established and gazetted Embu County Alcoholics Drinks Control Board as provided under Section 4.1 of the Embu County Alcoholics Drinks Act 2021. It is important to note that the Act was recently amended through the Embu County Alcoholics Drinks Control Amendment Act 2024, number 6 of 2024, which commenced on 16 September 2024. The amendment revised Section 4.3 to update the composition and the appointment procedure by the board. And it states there what needed to be amended. We were bringing in more representation of young people and the NGO, civil society organizations. So following these legislative changes, the department has initiated the process of establishing the board in line with the amended law. Consultations with the relevant stakeholders have also been concluded. A draft list of nominees has been prepared. These nominees will be formally presented to the County Assembly for consideration and approval, after which the appointments will be gazetted to operationalize the board.
What timelines should we be working with?
I think let's give it a month, max, we should be done.
So we'll put it within our 60-day implementation follow-up. We keep that in view.
Yes.
Failure to surrender interest, the Auditor General says 5 million is still outstanding, but is there evidence that recoveries have been initiated?
Yes, Chair. We looked at the payroll. It's being recovered.
So we keep that in view as well. Irregular engagement of casual employees. On this, Governor, the question we had in mind is that you have guidelines on hiring of casual workers in Embu County Public Service, which states that a casual worker will not be engaged for more than 1 month. And I thought that the national policy puts it at 6 months. Am I right? Someone
6 or 3.
Someone introduced themselves as chair of the Public Service Board.
No, I'm the county secretary.
You can respond to that.
What is the national
Usually
guideline?
casuals, I believe, is 3 months, but I can confirm that.
It's 3 months. So why? Of course, you are not bound by circulars from PSC, yes, because you are county governments. Why did you, in your wisdom, bring yours down to 1 month? You were just curious about
this
that.
Was a document of the County Public Service Board, and actually I had not seen about the 1 month, to be frank. I knew it is 3 months, even in our discussions with them, was supposed to be 3 months. I'm actually noting this now. I had not seen the 1 month. So then
what did you look at this report?
On this matter, Honorable Chair, actually the 442 staff are not newly recruited staff. These were staff that had been previously engaged by the hospital boards, and they were getting paid through the manual payroll. So when the government directive came that we have to put everyone into the IPPD, then the board advised that...
sorry, County Attorney. County Secretary.
Secretary, yes.
County Secretary.
Yes.
The basis of... the basis upon which the OAG says you are not in conformity,
yes,
is your guidelines on hiring of casual workers.
Sorry.
So how do you propose we deal with that if you are not agreeing on the basis of the non-conformance? Because these are your guidelines. They're not national. And I agree that the national ones do not apply to you,
yes,
unless you don't have something.
Yes.
So, because, you know, you should be telling us you are going back to look at it and amend it so that it is in line with the national one, or you are going to comply with it. But
1 month
but 1 month is impractical.
Yes, it is.
That's the point.
It is.
But it is what you have.
That's what I'm surprised about. But allow me, I bring it up with the Public Service Board.
Remember, we are at the Senate. We must make a final determination and send our report to the House. We don't have that luxury.
Could you give me time, like maybe even 30 days?
Are you familiar with Article 229 that gives us only 3 months to conclude this exercise? And the courts have told us that those timelines are mandatory. And so we do not have
because this
we don't have any latitude to donate that timeline to you.
This would require editing if it is indeed 1 month. allow me, even if it's a week, we can have an ad hoc, a cabinet sitting after we have reviewed this 1 month to an appropriate.
Who's the custodian of this?
The County Public Service Board.
Are they here?
They are not here today.
So who was coming to respond to this query beside the governor?
Now that they were aware I was here.
Yeah, the good thing about your account is that you are very frank. You guys are frank. When you don't know, you say you don't know, which is good, but dangerous as well, because this you ought to know. So, members, how do we deal with this?
Give us a week, please.
To do what?
A
week. What do you want to do within a week?
What you want to do within this week? Reach out to the County Public Service Board, have a review.
I thought, Chair, you asking the committee?
Of this timeline?
Or the CS is now part of the committee?
No,
I thought it is in the recommendation of the committee.
I have told them they are very nice, they are very frank. So
or she can swap places with Mundiki.
Sifuna used to say of a certain politician, give him the mic.
Yes,
so
give him the mic.
We are giving them the mic to fry themselves.
To entangle. So Chair, I think looking at the HR issues and on these casual employees, I wanted to find out these 442 casual employees, Governor, what is the total workforce of Embu County government? Because if they are doing 442 casual employees, can the Governor give us how many workforce do you have? How many number of employees? And then number two?
We have 3,527 staff. 3,527.
3,567 of these 442 are casual.
Chair, I wish to clarify something.
These were former healthy.
Can I finish, Governor?
Yes, yes.
CS, out of these 35 plus, 442 are casual employees.
Can I clarify that particular point that the Senator is bringing up?
Yes, proceed.
That these 442 were actually not new employees. And I think that is where, and it may have been a failure on our part, because according to OAG, they're saying that they were engaged for 1 month, and even there was no evidence of transparency in picking the casual workers. These are workers that had been picked by the hospital boards long before even county governments were established. And then the national, we were given instructions that every employee of county must be paid through the payroll. So it's at the point when we brought them into the payroll that the 442 were now discovered by the OAG. But there are staff who had been working there. I see they're also saying they were above 35 years old, but they had been working for many years, some of them, at the dispensary level, at the level 2s, level 3s, some level 4s. And so we couldn't have sacked them because they had been employed and we found them in office, and they provide very critical and sensitive services, either as cleaners, whatever it is they do. So that's how they ended up there. But I also want to say there's a very big, there seemed to have been a what can I use? The Public Service Board went ahead and gave 1 month under the basic guidelines of hiring public casual workers. Yet at the point when we brought them in, we gave them 3 months contract renewable. So that's, I think, the thing we need to go and clear with them and come back, and I think that can be done in a record 1 week.
Governor, maybe for us to understand, because in our earlier briefing, we realized that there were very many issues relating to HR. Even issues of lack of annual recruitment plan, that's a responsibility of the board. Yes. Issues of there are others, ethnic composition, one-third basic salary, staff above mandatory retirement age. The public service board that you have, is it a board that was established during your time in office, or you inherited it?
No, I inherited it, but we now have a new one that came in December.
In December of last year?
Yes, it was a very problematic.
Would you attribute that to
yes.
the
yes.
kind of scenarios
yes.
you're seeing here?
Yes.
Would you then give us an assurance that going forward, things are going to improve?
In fact, they are already improving. We have a board that is more responsive to the issues affecting the government, and that is really working hard to streamline things.
Fine, so on Rotary, we can resolve the issues. If not, we are going to give fairly strong recommendations, because the human resource is one of the most important resources in county governments. I want us to go ahead to, there are quite a number of issues there where we can base our recommendations on the written responses. But there's one that we must test: non-compliance with the law on the County Appropriation Act 2024. Auditor General. Actually, it starts from 18. Lack of annual development plan, lack of ADP, and then we'll look at non-compliance on the County Appropriation Act, and then we'll also look at the other observation in the ROR, collection of revenue without a finance act.
Thank you, Chair. Lack of an annual development plan. The county executive did not provide the annual development plan for the financial year 2024. For 2025, that was submitted to the County Assembly. And this was contrary to Section 126, subsection 3 of the PFM Act, County Governments 2012. I submit, Chair. Do I read all of them?
No, I mean, let's just be...
I can respond, Chair?
Yes, because there is no way a county could develop budgets without an ADP.
Exactly.
So let's see why you did not present that to...
The CEC member responsible for planning submitted the county's annual development plan to the county for approval, County Assembly for approval, and also sent the copies to Commission on Revenue. A plan is a point. A hard copy may not have been given, but you cannot have a budget without an ADP.
But, Governor,
yes.
If the auditors asked you for your ADP, why didn't you provide it to them?
That's what I want to know from you. What happened?
Because you can't tell the auditor, go to the website and find it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Chair, maybe
let the chief officer comment.
Prepares to give us, you know, Chair, audit is a process, it's not an event. So, Governor, let me ask, is an entry, exit meeting, management, and even issues are normally raised by the... I wish the Governor was listening.
Sorry.
I mean, Chair, my only concern to your team and yourself, if there is entry, exit meetings, management, response letter, all those issues are raised before the close of any financial year under review. My simple question, because in this annual development plan, which is a normal policy issue, and you know, non-provision of documentation under Public Audit Act is an offense, my only concern is, do you normally, you yourself or even your officers meet the OAG? Because if this issue had been captured in management letter, they would not be escalated to become an audit query. Do you normally meet with the OAG? You
know, Senator, I've been very strict about the issue of entry and exit meetings and response to management letter. And I'm actually asking my CEC, how did this find itself here? Because an ADP is a thing we have. Why wasn't it given when it was required? Why does it have to find its way in a final report?
Can we get that answer? Because even what you have done is fairly contemptuous of the Senate by telling us that it is available on the website. If the auditor has flagged it and you didn't produce it and you are coming to the Senate, then table it at the Senate as evidence. You can't tell us to go to the website to find it. Can you give us an explanation?
Our explanation is that we provided all planning documents, including Appropriation Act, physical paper, all those documents that are required to have a budget. And
if you are put to task, CEO,
yes.
If you are put to task to provide evidence that you provided those documents to the Office of the Auditor General, what will be your evidence?
We even submitted those documents through the soft copy, and we have that evidence.
What soft copy?
All these documents, all planning documents.
No. What would be your evidence? Because the auditor has reported that you did not provide these documents. For me to disagree with the auditor, you must give me evidence.
And I
because you have not even given us a copy of that document.
We will give you a copy, but we provided auditors, and that's where we are differing with them. We have the appropriation, the annual plan.
Yes. Officer, you are, I think you are not helping this situation. Auditor General, these people are accusing you of being frivolous and being unprofessional. And I don't take that lightly, because you cannot accuse the Office of Auditor General of unprofessionalism and frivolity. If this matter is here in the report that has been tabled in the House, what does it mean?
Thank you, Chair. As stated here in our report, the county executive did not provide the annual development plan that
and saying about the lack of it, that should have been responded to immediately.
I think for us to make progress, your responses, whoever authored these responses does not understand why you came to the Senate. Because you cannot tell us that instead of bringing evidence, you are telling us the plan is available in the county website. It is not my job to go to the website to fish for a plan. And it is not the job of the Auditor General to go to the website to fish for a plan. There are two things that must happen here. Governor, you must take administrative action on the officers who are supposed to provide this information and did not do so. And secondly, we shall invoke the provisions of Section 62 of the Public Audit Act, because it defines such conduct as being offensive to the law.
Yes.
Now, let's go to the County Appropriation Act. Is it the same story?
Yes, Chair, thank you. The county did not provide to us approval from the Speaker of the County Assembly to the Executive Committee member, granting authority to withdraw from the County Revenue Fund an amount of 606 million and 290 million for recurrent and development expenditures, respectively.
So, Governor, in responding, could you just help us by showing us the appendix with that approval?
Yes. Let me respond, Chair, and state the following: withdrawals totaling to 606,491,986 and 290,384,401 between July 1st, 2024 and July 14th, 2044 for the recurrent and development expenditures, respectively, were in respect to the year 2023-2024 financial year, when we were reporting on cash basis and the cutoff extended to mid-July. The expenditure the funds were committed to was reported in the financial statement and audited accordingly. The cutoffs have been presented to auditors for verification. Usually, Chair, at the end of the financial year, sometimes the Treasury, especially if they know they have delayed the exchequer, grants us an extension of a week or 2 weeks window to be able to make certain payments with the monies that they may have given us towards the end of the financial year. And this is exactly what happened, Chair. Would you like
Auditor General?
Chair, we can get clarification from a representative from Treasury who is here on the issue of the cutoffs and the extension.
National Treasury?
Chair, I want to believe that the auditor was asking on the approval to withdraw. Even if it was for the cash basis, they should have produced that.
So what did we expect? Maybe in a language that in English that we can understand.
Yes.
What exactly?
Sorry, Chair. Maybe
just a minute.
Just a clarification from her.
Just a minute. That
Chair, even if they withdrew money for the other financial year, there must be a withdrawal approval. They shouldn't have given to the auditor to show that it wasn't for the current financial year, but for the other year.
That's a fair comment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so even if it was a different financial year?
Clear, actually. You think otherwise? What?
Thank you. Through the Governor, Chair.
And you see, sorry, Governor and Prof, the problem with supplementary answers that are not here is that if we might not remember them when we're writing our reports, we'll just...
Yeah, thank you, Chair, through the Governor. The issue that we understood the auditor to be asking is like we needed an approval, like maybe withdraw or spending on foot on account. The budget we are referring to is a budget that had already been approved by the county assembly. So I do not think we needed a further...
Did you, Prof, did you sit with the OAG and look at the management letter and express your reservation and interpretation on the matter at that point?
No, but...
So why are we doing it here at the Senate? Because I said the auditing is not happening today. The audit was closed.
I want to... That's the same explanation that was provided, Chair.
Chair, we need also to clarify when did we expense it, this money and which budget? Because the issue of appropriation is about going to county assembly and then we expend as per the budget. And what happens here, we usually process our payment by the end of June, and because the money is usually released almost by 30th or just near the end of the month.
CEO,
yes.
You are taking us to the trees, we want to see the forest. Treasury has said that even if it was for the prior financial year, there ought to have been some authority. Why didn't you provide that?
That's where I'm coming in, and I'm explaining our processes. We process payment as at June, waiting for money. So our payment are usually in our IFMIS and IMB in internet banking. So what we wait, and we already put by closer of 30th June, we do our request to COB. Now COB releases that money in July. So ours is only to pay to the various beneficiaries. How can that be go back to approval to the speaker?
You are answering questions in your head, not the questions that are before us.
Chair,
Governor,
I think I'm here.
Governor,
yes.
Governor, your written response here says that the payments were for a different financial year, and therefore the approval of the speaker on an appropriation bill that came into force on 15th July 2024 does not apply.
No,
and
you're getting it wrong, Chair. Let me kindly, respectfully correct.
Okay.
that perception.
Fine.
What happens with the county governments is that, we get sometimes very late exchequer releases. Towards the end of the financial year, Treasury will tell us, we'll probably release some money to you next week. And then they don't release. But we start processing the payments in readiness, so that by the time we get to 30th of June, we have started the processing awaiting COB. So when the money is released by Treasury, then we usually seek for extension for us to be able to make payments against the previous budget, not the current. That is why we do not need the Speaker's approval, because you're not dealing with the current budget.
I'm with you on the same page. I'm with you on the same page, the exact same page.
Yes.
And that is what the Treasury has clarified. Did you have the Speaker's approval to make payments for that financial year where there was an extension? Definitely yes, isn't it?
Yes, we did, because it was already passed by the Assembly. Why didn't you provide it to the Auditor General? Because I do not imagine that you withdrew, you spent for an entire year without the Speaker's approval. That is unreasonable, isn't it? Just let me ask a question again, maybe out of ignorance. If a budget was already approved by the Assembly, and you've been spending money against that budget for the entire financial year without going back to the Speaker for approval, does that mean that if you've had an extension by Treasury which has pushed you to the next financial year and the budget is still the old budget, you'd still need the Speaker's approval? Just out of...
Governor,
just asking.
You guys are going round and round. You should have listened to what the Treasury said. Treasury, can you just repeat it? Because they are not getting it.
Chair, I wish to repeat the same. Though the budget was for the other financial year, the withdrawal was made in the current year.
Yes.
The system does not go back to the year the previous year. The auditor will check on the transactions that are made in the current year. The system will not tell the auditor they were for this financial year. So what you need to do is go back, get all those documentation to explain to the auditor why this money is being withdrawn this financial year and it was for the other financial year. So those documents must be there. Even if you are to produce the approval from the Speaker there for the whole year, it would have explained to the auditor what it is.
So I do not want any further argument. Okay, I want evidence now. Now I want evidence. I don't want further arguments.
Let me give final submission. I think we are differing in principle, because the same IFMIS, and I've said here, we have two systems that we use. IFMIS is the one that is the budget or other appropriation act. We load our budget, and even the processing payment are done in IFMIS. Once we are through with the IFMIS, those payments go to another system, like a bank, CBK. So, as at the end of the year, we close all the payment and we submit that file to the control budget. The IFMIS is active with the Appropriation Act. And every time we close our IFMIS system, we are around one window to close all the transactions, and then a new financial year is opened. So I believe Treasury is not...
this is a problem with...
We don't use the new financial year.
Order, Chief Officer. Order.
Yes.
I do not think your submission is more useful. This is a problem with the technicians. This matter came in a draft certificate. It came in management letter. I cannot entertain this kind of conversation before me, because this is not where the audit is taking place. CPA Tunga, ISPAC.
No, I just wanted to alert the Chief Officer that indeed she has put it very clear. So I wish you just followed the the comment she put. Then you will understand that now different 2 financial years, but you are spending within 2 financial years, though it's for the other budget. That will have sorted everything for you, and then you will understand why the documentation is important. Thank you.
Yeah, because your officer is focused on winning the argument. This argument ought to have happened at the point of audit. Auditor General, what's your final take on this before we give the way forward?
The management to provide us with the approvals, whether it's from Treasury or the County Assembly. Either of them has to approve for this expenditure. And in most cases, when the Treasury delays with the Exchequer, it normally guides the recipients or the beneficiaries on which year for the amount to be accounted for. So kindly also, when they'll be submitting their responses, let it also be accompanied by a letter from the Treasury indicating in which year, particular year, that last quarter was supposed to be accounted for. Thank you.
And you had already made this request to the entity?
Yes, Chair.
Now, Governor, you must do 2 things: take administrative action, and we must also invoke Section 62 of the Public Audit Act. But since the technical people are having different shades of gray on how this should be, we can allow 7 days for those documents to be presented to the auditor so that we can close it, because we have just wasted 10 minutes that we should not have wasted here at the Senate. Senator Dulo.
Chair, I just wanted to know whether this requirement is within the policy, practice, or the law, because I'm sure there are many counties that are doing, or rather they are in similar situation.
Yeah, it is within the law. And that's why Treasury, if it has to delay in submitting of or disbursing its money, it has to make a circular, giving the extension of the dates, then give a schedule, date and when the money has to go. So it is within the law that they shouldn't disclose the same, because if it's not explained, who will know which money was for when?
So,
for which financial?
Chair, they are confirming that actually that circular was made available, but then we should have made it available to the OAG. I think really that was
what was supposed to have been done simple. 15 minutes ago. Yes. 15 minutes ago, before we went into this long story. Now, again, tied to that, so we are moving from ADP, not provided, Appropriations Act being queried. I think let's tie all this. When you go to the ROR, you are talking of collection of revenue without a finance bill and revenue streams policies. Is this also another issue of interpretation of what is required? Let's tie this together because they are all related.
Thank you, Chair. Under ROR, the collection of revenue without a finance bill and revenue stream policies. Can I read the entire query?
So maybe we just pause and ask, did you have a finance bill? Was this also subject to this interpretation that, or misinterpretation that we have gone through with ADP and appropriations?
We now have a finance bill, Chair.
But it is true that then you didn't have a finance bill?
We were using an old one because we found that nothing had been done before, and the process took a while, but now we have an up-to-date finance bill.
Yeah. So in that financial year, you are using the finance bill for which, or the act for which year?
Where is that? I'm trying to go for which. Is it here or the other? We are in the other document.
It should be in the receive of revenue. I'm looking at the time, and we must find ways of tying the 2 reports together.
Page 9. Collection. Yes. During the financial year 24-25, the authority operated without an updated Finance Act, as the Finance Act 2024 had not been enacted. Consequently, the agency relied on Finance Act 2019 to administer revenue collection. However, in response to emerging and evolving revenue streams, the authority expedited the review process, culminating in the enactment of Finance Act 2025. The updated Act now serves as a critical instrument intended to ensure the full realization of a county's revenue potential through improved alignment with current economic activities. In addition, The agency initiated a comprehensive exercise to identify, formulate, and develop critical policies across all revenue streams in collaboration with respective parent departments. This ongoing initiative is aimed at strengthening governance, enhancing revenue administration, standardizing operational procedures, and supporting sustainable revenue growth across the county. The initiative has been coordinated by the County Secretary, as annexed in the memorandum dated 18th July 2025, Annexure 3.
Whereas the PFM, I think we have seen situations, Meru also had a similar situation where they could not convince the assembly to pass the finance bill. I think we also had a similar situation at the National Parliament. The only concern would be where you are using a finance bill that is older than your CIDP. Because if you're using the finance bill of 2019, I'm sure when you came into office, you came up with a fresh 5-year plan.
We did.
Which needed to be funded.
Yes, and then we did a proposed finance bill, which went to public participation. And you're aware of the hit that was not only, that was across the country. It caught up with us at the county level. So we were unable to engage the masses on it for a while, because the environment was completely not conducive for us to go far with it. And so thereafter, we began now public participation. We finished on our part, took the bill to the assembly. They also started their own public participation until they finally passed the bill.
Again, this is a matter that we'll be asking the county assembly to be seized of, because the finance bill is a county assembly bill. Sometimes it is the public that rejects it, sometimes it is the assembly that frustrates it. But I think maybe in terms of making recommendations, we would have a problem. We would have a problem with a finance bill that is older than 5 years. 2019, no, not older than 5 years, but older than your CIDP. That is problematic, because you can't have all these grand plans and then the financing of it is not aligned. We have found a route into the ROR statement. And in the ROR statement, Governor, these members were a bit concerned that 50% of your revenue is coming from hospitals, and that even what you reported as a growth in revenue, that total growth came from hospitals. We would have expected that growth would come from other revenue streams, because you are stimulating the economy, cash is flowing, and you're broadening your tax base and improving your efforts. In that year, you collected 919.6 million. Is that true?
Yes.
Is that the right figure you have?
Yes, yes, that's the right figure.
919,665,412.
Yes.
We are aligned on that figure.
Yes.
Out of which 497,318,867 came from hospital fees.
Yes.
What percentage is that of the total?
What percentage?
That's about 50%.
About 50%, yes.
Now you
slightly under 50.
No, it's more than 50. It's 497 million against 919 million. So that's already it's above 50, isn't it? I saw you were very proud, Governor, for growing your revenues from 746 million to 919 million. I think prior year was 746.
Yes.
So that was a growth of about 170 million. But all that growth is attributed to hospital fees. I don't know what is your view on that, what is your strategy on that, because it is not sustainable. With FIF, I don't know whether, Auditor General, I don't know with FIF, with the FIF law properly implemented, whether hospital fees would still be sitting here in the ROR statement.
No, Chair. If it is well implemented, the amount will not be reported in an executive or ROR.
So if they report properly on accrual basis, separating the funds, the on-source revenue for Embu ideally ought to have been something like 420 million. Does this concern you, Governor?
It does, but if you look at the history of OSR in Embu County, the highest revenue always came from the hospital, even when there was no FIF. And when we came in, I think because of the changes we made at the hospital, making sure there were drugs and, improving on efficiency, we collected more. And now with SHA, it is even much, much more. So the thing we hope will help us is, number one, that as FIF is enhanced and gets better, as we are seeing currently, that we can be able to release a lot of what we pay for the hospitals back to the hospitals in totality. Because even up to now, we are still having to put aside some money for supplies at the executive. Because we do not want a situation where we wake up and we are told we have no drugs and we have no money. We want to make sure that that continues. And then also, like this 412 staff that you mentioned earlier can be absorbed by the hospitals. If that happens, it becomes easier for us now because they have taken all their FIF, yet we are paying all their staff. We're still having to pay several other budgets for them. But again, let me say we have come up with a strategy. We actually launched a strategy for improving on our revenue collection. We have diversified our revenue streams so that we can be able to collect where we ordinarily never used to collect.
again, media. The issues around ROR, particularly the issues around automation and processes, systems, I hope that your responses are detailed enough to allow us to write a report and to come up with proper recommendations. Because if your written responses are weak, then we might crucify you for lack of information. So between the report of the executive, the report of the receiver of revenue, and the report of the county revenue fund, we have prosecuted the key issues that we thought related to lawfulness, related to effectiveness, or had a hint of criminality. And I think that on the basis of the responses that have been tabled by the governor, we could be in a position to do a report to the House. Unless there is a matter from the OAG that is extremely, extremely important, where you will need our guidance, where you feel that the county has not responded properly in writing. If there is such a matter, bring it to our attention. Otherwise, we shall retreat, do our report, and make sure that by 31st of March, we communicate on the resolutions of the House. OAG?
Thank you, Chair. We really appreciate for this session. Probably they can just also provide us with the responses to the HR issues that were in the special report.
Okay. And again, Governor, I see some disconnect between your team and the Office of the Auditor General. There are things we are discussing here that we should not be discussing here. And so go back and deal with that situation. If you need to train your people, if you need to warn your people, because I feel like there's 1 hour we have spent here which we should not have spent. We could have discussed other more important policy and value for money issues rather than arguing on whether a document was provided or not. So please, in my experience, the Office of the Auditor General, they are professionals and I've found them to be very useful in terms of even improvements in internal processes. The next time we have this kind of engagement, please make sure that the chair of your audit committee is also part of the delegation. Please make sure, where is the chair of the audit committee? Where is the Sergeant at Arms? Sergeant at Arms? Just give him the mic so that he introduces himself, because there's no need for you to have very, very qualified people, and the threshold for the chair of the audit committee is so high. I think he must be a member of the institute. CPA Tunga. He must be a member of the institute. We want to make use of them so that they can also help us and tell us the things that they are doing proactively to reduce the non-conformances. Maybe, Chair, I will give you a minute just to reintroduce yourself. And from the amount of hair on your head, I believe you have seen much more than I've seen. You might give us just 1 or 2 minutes of your observations on how we can make this run much better.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Julius Mutinda. I'm Chair of Audit Committee of Embu. We started, we're given this work in June last year. And when this, I can say I'm a retired officer of Auditor General. I was the Director of Audit. I am aware of all these issues which are interest. But what I can say is that in Embu, if I'm given a chance again, I can be a very important person to advise the government through my experience in the Auditor General's office. And I think this, I think I was not informed. I was not very much involved in this response of these queries. And in the future, I can testify here and say that I will be very important and I do my best to to liaise with my colleagues, Auditor General, and I'll make and give positive responses. Thank you.
Governor, you have a resource that it's like you have a marking scheme in your institution, but you are not using the marking scheme. You have such a qualified person who has been director of audit, who understands this language and this process. Why would you not use that resource, even though they started in June? Why wouldn't you use that resource so that we have, look at some of the things we have here. ICT controls, you have 10 things. HR, you have 6, 7 things. Some things, it's like you are seeing for the first time while at the Senate. We just want to encourage you that these audit committees, they should not be decoration. You then demotivate and frustrate someone of that gentleman's stature because he will now feel like he's earning allowances and not rendering service. I know there are a lot of people who want to come and help county governments, but they feel like even if they came, no one takes them seriously. We had county budget and economic fora, which the law requires you to fill with very, very qualified people. Very qualified people. The CBEFs, I don't know whether they are still working in county governments. You have the audit committee with a very high threshold for the chair, because the chair must be a member of the institute. What about the secretary? Or this one does not have a secretary? Tunga.
The head of the audit function is usually the secretary.
That is internal audit?
Yes.
The internal auditor is a secretary?
A secretary to the audit committee.
And the internal auditor is also a professional?
Yes.
Either a member of ISPAC or the other institute?
Sure.
So why aren't you helping the governor?
We are doing our best, and I think with the support of the audit committee and the management, these are improving.
Because the governor should never come here and say that she's still unsure of her pending bills. And yet you have an internal auditor, and yet you have people who understand the audit process. So really, this is, Governor, I hope your officers don't take it personally.
Yes.
But
No,
I'm
no,
just encouraging, I'm just encouraging that utilize the resources that you have internally. They will make your life easy. You will come to Nairobi and will spend only 1 hour.
Chair, you'll see a difference next time. I'm really going to make good use of this resource. Clearly, I can see it wasn't put into good use. If it was, some of these things would not have found their way here.
Fine. So we look forward to the next meeting. I hope that we'll see the fingerprints of those experts in the next report that we'll be looking at.
Thank you.
We will then bring it to a close. I don't know whether the members of County Assembly who are coming made their way here, or they got the per diems and decided to do otherwise. That's a different matter. In terms of closing remarks, I think we will donate our time to the senator from Embu. Let me allow the governor to go first, and then the senator will summarize on behalf of the committee.
Chair, thank you very much. On behalf of my team, we want to appreciate the time we've spent together here, and especially so the value add that we've gotten out of this process, and also thank the OAG for their work. I think their work is what makes us do better. I want to promise that going forward, you're not going to see these gaps. There will be a better and closer working relationship with them in ensuring that what they ask for is actually provided and done so in time, not before the Senate committee. And as you have advised, we'll make good use of the resource that we have so that we make sure things are better, but we continue to appreciate the work that this committee is doing to make sure that counties deliver services, are more effective, more efficient, and follow the law. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Senator Mundidi. Lakini usichome, it's closing remarks.
Okay, asante Chairperson. Muna committee hii audit mnafanya kazi nzuri na pia ya Senate mnafanya kazi nzuri, nimefurahia. Kila mtu ameona mahali ule amesembea kazini. Kwa hiyo ningeomba watu wa Embu County tusiangushe governor, tunajua vile anafanya kazi na vile anaumia. Kwa hivyo ule mtu afanye kazi, ningeomba governor kama ni changes, kama ni mambo ya CEC ama ni nani, uende uangalie vizuri, uende ufanye transfer, kwa sababu mimi nikiwa hapa naweza sema nani anafaa aende na nani hafai haende, kwa sababu ni kitu ya aibu. Chairperson governor ni mchapakazi, lakini mambo ingine ni aibu. Tumeona hata Ndiarok mnafaa wao wakifanya kazi na audit office. Nilikuwa na tatuisi kidogo na audit, lakini nimeona mnafanya kazi nzuri. Kwa hivyo governor, tafadhali mkirudi wakati wengine, tafadhali, unajua mimi naunga nyinyi mkono, mtianguse Embu County. Ya mwisho, najua mambo ya revenue, governor amejaribu, amefika hiyo nearest 1 billion. Na najua vile alikuta about 340 million, kwa hivyo anafanya kazi. Na ndio umeona nikingangana naye nikimuunga mkono, ile pesa yetu ilikuwa ni kidogo, lakini sasa tumeongezea. Chairperson pia county zile ndogo, county zile iko na 4 sub counties, sio kama yangu, sio kama Omambe ama Nairobi. Mwende muangalie county zetu ndogo zile 11, budget inakuja iweze kupatikana, ndio mambo ya pending bill iweze kupungua, kwa sababu governor ile shinda alipata pale ilikuwa na shida nyingi sana, mambo ya pending bill, wage bill. Na unamesikia hata banki watu wako wanalipwa mshahara, siku hizi nafikia governor analipa watu mshahara. Kwa hiyo unaona budget inakuwa na shida. Ile mambo ingine ningegusia, najua kama ni pesa, naomba chief officer ile pesa ambayo umetoa upande mwingine uende urudishe, ndio tukuje wakati ile mwingine audit kule iwe haiko. Kwa hivyo mimi naunga mkono kamati yako na audit na pia na governor na wale wengine. Asanti. Ni mimi Daktari Mondiki.
With that, we come to a close. The meeting is adjourned because if I say more, tutachoma. We wish you a safe journey back home.